right, clap check.
We don't do that here. We don't do that here. That's the worst Black Panther impression ever. I never freeze.
That was fucking Arnold. Okay, we're getting off track.
We're
getting off track already.
Wow.
We're gonna cut this in post.
I don't think I'm going to. When you say we, what you mean is me.
Okay, so before we start, welcome back. If you're actually still watching this, I'm incredibly impressed.
Yeah, me too.
Few things we want to say first before we get back into this video here. One, thank you for actually watching 2 hours of us just kind of ranting.
Yes, also, it's been a week.
It's been a week, yeah. So hopefully we'll plan to keep these up at a decent pace to come out, because obviously it'll take us forever to even finish this, just in terms of our time.
We also can't talk about Devil May Cry for like an infinite amount of time.
We can.
I mean, we could, technically.
But
I do want to do responses about other things.
Yeah, like we'll probably ask again once we get to the end of this what anyone, if people are still, if
yes,
the one or dozens of people that, or the 1 dozen, or the 3 guys that make it to the end. If you want to see, if you have an ideas
of people,
if you have ideas what you want to see, we'll like put it in the comments. But
I would actually like, I'd like to see what people want us to bitch about.
Yeah, because obviously, you've seen this channel. We have no idea what's going on here.
I don't. I do.
We have a mod videos of... Okay, let's not get off topic here. This is already going to be a long video.
I start series like every other month.
Yes. So, next thing. I can't believe you actually listened to me. I watched about most of that video, and holy shit, I never finished a sentence. It's... Well,
it's... You start something, I crack a joke, we both laugh, and then we forget what we're talking about.
Well, it's not even that. I start the same sentence 3 times while stuttering the fucking thing, and then I never finish it.
Oh, that's true. Well, you and I have known each other.
I have so much. Like I was
20 years.
I have so much to say. It's so little time.
I don't even hear it.
I don't. I'm me. I don't even hear it. I don't even understand the English language.
Sorry. Before we do anything, I want to get
crack your goddamn beer. Stop doing that.
Okay. That's the real intro. That's the intro of the series.
A few more things on the agenda we need to get through before I start, I guess. Next is I wanted to...
Oh my... Sorry, I'm sorry. That beer is so much better than the hard cider I had. This is a 5.5%er from New Mexico.
Wonderful.
And it comes in a pint can.
Stop derailing us!
I don't actually want to talk about Devil May Cry 5. I want to talk about beer.
Well, fuck you. Make your own show.
They're all my shows!
So the first thing I wanted to talk about, many people in the comment section...
I'm sorry, this is really...
Fucking stop. Many people in the comment section brought up, very rightly, that the visions of V manga, as well as the... I forgot the title for the prequel, novel, but either way.
Intro to Despair or something?
Yeah, I think that's... Yes, it is. That's something like that.
Prelude to the Nightmare? Something like that.
Something like that. Either way, they have a lot of information that is pertinent to Devil May Cry 5, and they do also fill some of the issues and criticisms that Twin Review, the makers of this video, brought up. But I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt in the way of when we review, we take the philosophy of when we review a piece of media, that piece of media should generally stand on its own by itself. It shouldn't have to rely on tertiary media to fill gaps that it may or may not have. Devil May Cry 5 really doesn't have that issue, but there are some things you might be able to, let's say, be like, well, it is solved in the prequel novel, but maybe it should have been, I don't know, fleshed out in the main story of the game itself a little bit. That I would agree with would be a fair criticism. So that's the angle we're going to be taking with this review. So if there's something that is solved in a prequel manga or the V manga, it's fair that would be in there, but we're going to still treat it as a fair criticism of Devil May Cry 5, the game as itself, as it stands by itself.
True. However, I also think that while not many, I think that a piece of media should be given points for having like extended universe crap.
Oh no! In terms of I really do want to read them. I haven't gotten around to it yet, but I'm extremely excited to. I've mostly been waiting for like an actual good translation of the novel to come.
Yes, I was actually looking for the novel because when we first were talking about it, I thought it was a comic.
There's
I wanted to find it.
Yeah, there's the V comic and then there's the actual prequel manga.
I've read a couple of chapters of the V comic. Well, like the first half of the first chapter.
I haven't saved on my computer. I haven't had that at the time yet.
And then I was like, oh, if there's like a whole prequel thing, I'll just read that. That sounds like, that's a good afternoon.
Because
it's not even translated.
It's been a while.
It's a full novel.
It's a full novel. It's been a while since I looked into it. Last I saw, there was no official translation, and the only translation that existed were basically just bullet points that summed up the story, which
Yeah.
is like, that's the best we're going to have for a little bit, but it's cool if you want to read through it. But like, I'm going to wait until the actual novel comes out so I can't read it myself, as like,
I
don't
can
speak or read
comics.
Japanese.
Sorry, I can read comics all day, every day.
Yeah.
Like Japanese comics specifically, if there's a really good one, but we can talk about that later. That has nothing to do with Devil May Cry.
Yeah.
But when it comes to novels, like, I'm still halfway through Naked Lunch. Like, despite the fact that William Burroughs is one of my favorite authors, I've been reading that for a whole year.
I'm putting a fucking link in the description, but in the fucking comments, by the way, so you can skip to the actual video. Just saying.
You don't want me to... Sorry, we were talking about poetry.
We've been here for a while,
and now I'm talking about William
and now
Burroughs.
we're just derailed.
You're just... Don't talk about literature near me, all right? I get excited.
I know. I've seen your bathroom.
I was like, there are no books in my bathroom. What could be in the... Oh. I didn't jizz on anything.
Yeah, well,
You monster.
say that to like the piles of William Blake poetry in your dumpster.
I was about to make a joke, but it's like the worst I've ever made. So we can bleep it out if it's really bad.
You're gonna say it still.
Yes, but we can bleep it out.
Oh, great.
I accidentally...
Yeah, we're deleting that. I don't know what that means, but we're deleting it. Moving on! I don't care.
You said
No,
I
I don't
jizzed
care.
on a poem.
Yeah, you did.
That's a poem.
You can't impregnate a piece of
We
paper.
just watched...
Nothing exists off camera. You're referring to non-canon material, Austin.
This is not canon. All right.
Hey, do you want to talk about DMC5?
Yeah, might as well.
Welcome back. So this is where we left off. For context, we actually did go back and just rewatch what we recovered in the last video, so we're fully back up on context, and we're ready to go.
Admittedly, I kind of half watched it and half talked to you about stuff.
Yeah, well, because most of it made us too angry to like, so we had to kind of like half pay attention.
All right, let's do this.
Let's start the goddamn video.
It's not. But of all things, why Devil May Cry 5? Is some silly hack-and-slash game really deserving of my fastidious criticism? At this point, like most people who don't like confrontation, one could say...
Well, okay.
Okay.
It's fine to have criticisms of anything. Even if something is unanimously loved by everyone in the entire world, still criticize it.
Okay.
You can, and there is good and bad criticism in terms of what kind of comments you level against it. You can just say, I don't like it. It's not like a good criticism.
Well, what he's saying is this video game deserving of my level of criticism? Like, it's just like a silly hack and slash character action game.
Oh, hot take, yes. Like, it comes from, God,
in my opinion,
it's pretentious.
like,
It comes from a prestigious line of hack and slash games. Devil May Cry is well known for being some of the best outside of 2.
Okay, here's what
We
I
don't
think.
talk about
Like,
2.
There's a million and one other better things you could be critiquing right now.
Yeah, but the thing is, like...
But if you didn't critique Devil May Cry 5, we wouldn't be here. So, like, thank you.
So, yeah, great, thank you for doing this.
But
no, in terms of seriousness, in terms of should I be criticizing something? Yeah, for sure. Go for it.
Criticize everything, but I'm going to make fun of you for criticizing Devil May Cry 5 specifically.
Well, particularly if your level of criticism is, oh, why is the sword not splitting Dante?
Let's talk about really like the deeper themes of Bayonetta.
Well, the thing is, this is a 43-minute long
I
video.
need to
I'm
talk
sure
about
we'll
how
find
the
one or
Umbra Witches
I'm sure we'll find one or
parallel
two
the
actually
economic
good.
instability of America in the 1920s.
I'm sure there'll be one or two actually decent criticism of the game because, as we said before,
It's 43 minutes,
And
and there
we're-
has to be something.
And we're gonna get to our criticisms because there are things you can criticize and say that, like in DMC5, they could have done better. It's still one of the best games ever made, and it's still I fucking love it.
I know. What he's saying is like, isn't it silly that I picked Devil May Cry? And I'm like, yeah, it is a little silly, yeah.
I mean, maybe, but like I don't really think it's that silly to criticize anything. Like to criticize something is to give feedback to try and make it better next time.
Yes.
Fuck, dude, you can criticize like fucking Citizen Kane to make a better Citizen Kane. It'd be hard as fuck to do, but you can do it.
Yeah, but Citizen Kane doesn't have a scene where he puts on a cowboy hat and dances while jiggling his testicles around.
Yes, but my point is that there's no such thing as a perfect piece of media, and everything can be criticized.
True. I think everything should be criticized. I think we should also just agree that what we're doing is silly.
Yes, what we're doing is extremely silly.
Okay.
Whack,
I'm drinking this
Wacko
beer
crazy
way too
pizza
fast.
man, 43 video criticism video, and then we're here talking about the criticism video of that.
We're not critiquing.
Are we the dregs of the internet? Yes, we are. But we enjoy the scraps we're given.
We are like concentrated internet right now. I'm drinking this beer way too fast.
It's not meant to be taken seriously. Or even, isn't it great how Devil May Cry 5 doesn't take itself seriously? These arguments don't make sense to me.
Well, okay, that's a little disingenuous. Because, like, Devil May Cry 5 exists in the middle ground of, yes, it's self-aware and makes kind of silly jokes. It's not self-referential, but it's like, he puts a cowboy hat on and does Michael Jackson. It's silly. But the thing is, the reason Devil May Cry, even back to the first one, where it's, like, completely, like, fill your dark soul with light. It's cheesy, it's silly, it's awful, but the reason people liked it, the reason that I liked it, is that it has a cheeseball kind of like good feel good message in the middle of it that's presented well within itself. So it's not like it doesn't hurt itself in terms of its message. It's
Rupert Langdon.
Yeah.
Oh, he was Dante in 1 too, right?
No, different guy.
Okay,
actually,
Shit, who was that?
I don't know. I forget his name, unfortunately.
Well, he did that take light, and they kept it in.
Mm-hmm.
I love that you're like expecting there to be another point, and then you went, "Oh, that's the whole point."
That's the whole. Yeah, they kept that take in,
but like to me at least, I think the series has kind of always been self-aware, and I think that
it's always partially self-aware in terms of how silly it is, but it also there's always the healthy amount of it.
I had a point to make.
Okay, sorry, continue.
Great.
Sorry, continue. Finish your point.
I personally think that like Devil May Cry 3 is way funnier than 5. I think that in terms of like self-awareness, like it was always at 3. 3 was the high point in terms of like. I mean, even if you want to do fourth wall breaking, because Dante gets the electric guitar and he does like a whole solo to no one.
You could argue that's just being Dante
that solo for you.
You could argue it's just Dante being teenage Dante.
Yes, and that's why it works.
Yes, exactly.
But let's not but it's always been like that.
Yes. But what I'm saying is,
even in 4, when like fucking Angus and Dante start like trading poetry or shit, like come on, dude. But like 5 is the most reserved it's ever been, except for 1.
Yes, my point is that like the reason it's always been good is it has the healthy mix of the silly self-awareness with like the kind of cheeseball yet serious undertones that kind of like marry them together really. Yes, they're doing wacky, crazy like Power Rangers flips, but then there's also like the oh god, dare I say Shakespearean brother tragedy in there in terms of 3 at least. There's some seriousness. And it's cheesebally, but there's also like kind of like
okay, let's not use the term Shakespearean. Did you see me like it's fucking rolling my head around before I was like, oh,
well, I'm glad it had that effect on you because that's what they used to describe DMC, Devil May Cry.
Oh god, did they?
You didn't get the joke? Yeah, exactly. It's almost Shakespearean in its themes. Said by the actress that played Mundus's girl. Or maybe that was Kat. I'm not sure who that was, actually. I might be speaking out my ass.
If we ever get super popular, which we won't.
No, God,
but
no.
if we ever did, the only person I would ever want to interview is Alex Garland.
Let's not go down that road right now.
He'll be like, what do you want to talk about? Ex Machina Annihilation? I'm like, no, let's talk DMC.
We have some laundry to air,
you
sir.
See this elephant in the room? It's like fucking huge now. All right, let's talk about the squirrel jizz thing. I got a bigger dick.
Where was the inspiration for the when we first meet Mundus and he's just fucking?
Oh,
everyone's your bitch, Mundus.
Oh god.
Okay, we're getting off topic.
I had.
What was the point? Oh yeah, Devil May Cry is silly.
Alex Garland, so I just turtled and just held my head in my hands. I'm reaching for my beer. It's my safety beer. I can just like fiddle with this thing when I don't want to talk.
It's gonna sound awful.
I know.
Back on topic. healthy mix. Devil May Cry has self-awareness and silliness. Boom. Point. Moving on.
Well, yeah, but also it is kind of strange that he doesn't like the silliness in 5, and he says that he really does like 3, which to me is much more silly.
Yes, it's a bit strange.
Is it just the silliness that he doesn't like?
It's strange, that dynamic.
Well, he said self-aware, not silly.
Did he say self-aware?
He did say self-aware.
Let's back it up real quick.
Isn't it great how Devil May Cry 5 doesn't take itself seriously? These
Oh,
arguments...
shit. Don't look at me. I forgot to reset it. I'm sorry.
Oh.
That's why I was sounding Russian weird. I'm going to try to get back a little bit here.
Isn't it great how Devil May Cry 5 doesn't take itself seriously? These arguments don't make sense to me. They are...
Yeah, that's just like, that's almost a straw man to me.
Well, okay, so he doesn't necessarily have a problem with the silliness of Devil May Cry 5 and Devil May Cry as a whole, but a lot of their silliness comes from the fact that they don't take themselves too seriously. And so when you say that Devil May Cry 5 is bad because it doesn't take itself too seriously... No, he didn't say that either.
Okay, well,
he said what he doesn't like is when people say that Devil May Cry is good because it doesn't take itself too seriously.
He's building a straw man.
Which is ridiculous!
I'm going to drag it back a little bit because I think we're missing full context here.
Like most people who don't like confrontation, one could say that
That's a little
it's
jab.
just a video game. It's not meant to be taken seriously. Or even, isn't it great how Devil May Cry 5 doesn't take itself seriously? These arguments don't make sense to me.
Yeah.
Okay, no. Okay, I got what he's saying.
Uh-huh.
He's not talking about Devil May Cry at all.
Yeah, okay.
He's saying, I want to make fun of this, or I want to critique this, and people are like, don't critique it, it's just a video game, but I want to. That's what he's saying. He's not actually talking about Devil May Cry 5.
No, yeah.
Okay, so he's like, I want to take something seriously that isn't really serious.
Yes. I mean, the thing is, like, that's fine, because, like, you can do that.
Okay, so that's... Now that we're all on the same page here, what do you have about this, then?
I will say, like, okay, digging into it too much, the way he put that was a little confrontational.
It was, which is why it took me a little while to get around to what he's trying to say here.
He already feels like he has the barbs out, the knuckles are raised, and we're like, wait, what's going on, buddy?
About Devil May Cry in the beginning, but he's not even there yet.
Yeah, no, he's not there yet. I think we jumped the gun. You're right. So let's see what he has to say.
They are encouraging people to stop thinking and stop asking questions. I know that a lot of people don't have a problem with that. And I'm not making fun of those people either. What I am saying is that in order for me to enjoy something, it has to make sense first.
I have no problem with that statement. We talked about this last episode in terms of like internal consistency is very important. There's no
problem with thinking critically, even when something is silly.
Yeah. And that's also why Devil May Cry works. It's extremely silly, but it's internally consistent.
Internally consistent,
and that's what's important. Sense. And that's what's important for storytelling.
Yeah, he's saying that it doesn't make sense, and that's why this video exists. But we do know that it does make sense.
Yeah, well,
it makes enough sense to work.
We haven't gotten to his direct criticism yet. I think he's building to that. He's building his foundation from where his criticism's coming from. Where he's basically, I think he's building up to Devil May Cry 5 isn't maybe not internally consistent, but maybe it's too silly, or it doesn't make sense in certain parts.
Yeah, see, what we're trying to do right now
is make a better argument.
We're trying to figure out what his argument's going to be. We're just concocting this weird fucking statement that we think is going to come out of his mouth. I'm almost because he's been setting this up for like 2 minutes now.
That's good.
And he's going to say, and all of this, and therefore, Devil May Cry 5 sucks dick. And we're going to be like, fuck you!
No, oh god, we're almost building him up to like, at least for me, I'm building up to having actual good criticism. Like, okay, give me what are you like? Give me your take on Devil May Cry 5.
I'm sucking down this beer, ready to just launch on something.
I guess we have 2 different takes on this. Let's go.
If it's dumb schlock, it's dumb schlock. If it's genre defining, call it genre defining. But if it starts out as genre defining and turns into dumb schlock,
pause.
That doesn't mean I'm.
But, like, wait, okay, Devil May Cry 1 was genre-defying for its gameplay. Like, for its story, it was very run-of-the-mill. It's fun run-of-the-mill, and it, like, has a little bit of, like, as we're saying, the mix of silliness and theory.
He mentioned The Last of Us.
Okay.
And I'm gonna say something.
All right.
And this is not a hot take. It is a lukewarm take.
Okay. What are you gonna say?
I don't like The Last of Us as a game.
Oh, no. Okay.
And yeah, it is genre defining.
Yeah.
I haven't liked most Sony, what do you call them, exclusives as games.
Uh-huh.
God of War 4 is an amazing movie.
I gotta play that game.
It's a fucking amazing movie. Like, it's so good. But when you're playing it, when it's just like day to day, like oh, like there's something over on that side of the map and I have to like get all the way there. It's fucking boring. It's
But to pull it back, okay, to pull it back to DMC though,
I would have.
He's calling Devil May Cry 5 schlock.
I'm sorry, yeah, I would have to talk about God of War as a whole series for like an hour.
Maybe that'll be series 2. I know.
To where I just said,
I know you have a lot to say
R1,
about
R1,
that.
R1, R1 is considered a combo in Devil War, in God of War 4. Like
We'll come back to
okay.
it.
God of War 4 is really good.
Put it back in the box, Austin.
But I don't
close
like
it up.
Okay.
And put it back on the shelf.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Pick up the Devil May Cry box, and we'll open that one back
If
up.
people actually watch this, next comment is like, "Oh, really? Yeah, you should do a series about God of War now." I know. Oh man.
But he called Devil May Cry. Okay, so his point is Devil May Cry 1 is genre defining, and Devil May Cry 5 is schlock now. So basically saying that
Devil May
it is
Cry has
devolved
always
into
been kind of schlocky, but that's a lot. That's like a part of its charm.
as we said, that's the charm. It's the mix.
So
It's the mixture of the semi-serious story with the schlocky silliness that Dante brings, as well as the majority of the story and universe kind of brings with it.
Yeah, I mean, it has a complete story with character arcs in it, whereas, oh god, what was the Suda 5-1 game that he just showed? Cheerleader Chainsaw? Lollipop Chainsaw. Lollipop Chainsaw.
Yeah, that's a schlock.
I mean, it has an achievement in it for looking up the girl's skirt. All right.
Yes.
Like, we all know what we're here for. Like, and it's okay to like those things. I have never played,
and that's his
Dead
point
or Alive
too.
Beach volleyball, but that shit sells,
So
man. That's fine.
No, I get you. So where his criticism is coming from is that 1 was great, and then the franchise has now devolved into 5, where it's schlock, that's where we're going to disagree with here. And I think he still hasn't levied against any real criticism besides saying Devil May Cry has just devolved from what Devil May Cry 1 was.
Well, okay, but a lot of people consider like schlockiness to come from silliness. Like if it's overly silly at the cost of story and characters.
Well, I can't speak for him because he hasn't got to that point yet, but that might be what his point is.
But he hasn't made an argument yet, aside from the fact that Devil May Cry 5 is schlock.
Yes.
But let's define schlock to us now.
Okay, well, schlock to me, like, at least in terms of we're using it in a bad connotation, is just going to be overly silly, doesn't really make much sense, but it's there just for the fun and silliness of it.
Wouldn't that be 3 more than 5, though?
Arguably, yes. 5 definitely, as we talked about before, 5, it takes its story much more seriously than 3 did, I would definitely say.
Okay.
At least in terms of, like, 5 has a lot more elements and moving parts to it that it tries to weave into a kind of grander narrative besides Devil May Cry 3's, which is much more focused. Not worse, but it's...
Okay, and I think that at a first glance,
not worse.
I would say the Devil May Cry
better.
5 story is very simple.
5 is
because when Dante like comes and then he like does some stuff and he doesn't really tell anyone what's going on.
Yeah,
you're like, yeah, Dante didn't tell anyone what's going on. That's weird. But then you think, why didn't he do that?
Yeah, and
then you're thinking about why, and then you kind of work it out for yourself, and it kind of makes more sense.
That's why, 5
has
to get off a small tangent.
5 does have some kind of subtext.
That's why 5 is good because it has
the antithesis of schlock.
Which is why 5 is a lot. Like there's reasons for every character doing something. It's not just plot needs them to go here and do this, and so it just happens.
Yeah, and
no. There's a reason. There's a reason why Dante didn't tell everyone about Urizen being Virgil. It's because he's like, no, Virgil's my brother. I need to face him myself. The fucking everyone else leave.
Yeah, and Devil May Cry 3 had some kind of subtext for
Dante's
character,
for Dante's character and Virgil's character and Lady and
that was Dante's,
I forget his name.
Dante woke up to justice in Devil May Cry 3.
Dante's awakening.
I mean, he's not like a paragon of morality like Mundus. Not Mundus.
Mundus.
Fucking Christ.
Paragon of morality. We'll make hell great again.
All right.
We'll build a wall between heaven and hell.
We're gonna separate the demon world from the human realm. We're gonna make a big, beautiful wall.
Okay, that's a bad comparison because that's exactly the opposite of what he wanted to do. Fucking Mr. Sparta, tear down this wall.
Oh my god, the demon missile crisis.
It's even better because Earth
Mundus has that big old liver spot on his forehead like Gorbachev does. He's fucking that lady that falls apart in DMC. She's just disintegrating in front of him, and he just doesn't give a fuck.
Alex Garland, you have crimes to answer for.
You stand before the tribunal of video games. How do you plead? He's like, well, sir, I really do have a bigger dick.
Oh, shit, he checks out.
Son of a bitch. You know we're gonna have to check that, right? He just drops trowel. God damn it! Alright, you have to post bail, but you're free to go. Son of a bitch.
Just don't, but
It's like a baby's arm. I'm so sorry.
I think we should continue. Is that the room that I'm looking at? I didn't really pay attention.
Oh, Danny.
It means that it sucks now. Most
Wait,
people
what?
aren't
Hold on.
Taking it too serious starts out as genre defining and turns into dumb schlock. That doesn't mean I'm taking it too seriously. It means that it sucks now.
So the argument that he's saying that other people make about what he's feeling about Devil May Cry 5 is that Devil May Cry 5 is now schlocky, and he wants it to be more serious genre defining, and then people are saying that's why he doesn't like Devil May Cry 5 because he's not embracing it for its schlockiness. There's like two levels to this because he's building a little straw man of what people are saying about him saying about Devil May Cry 5. Do you follow this? It's a little pointless because we're here for his criticisms of 5.
Show. I just went fucking whatever, man. Basically with my arms.
I know it's a little just like, all right, well, okay, I see. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry, Twin Reviewer. You put out a bad video about why Devil May Cry 5 already sucks, and you called this Izuno basically a hack. I think people were a little mad. I'm sorry.
Take offense to that.
They were a little mad.
And this is coming from me. I am a fan of Itsuno. Right now, both of his series that he works on, I am waiting for with bated breath. I want to see, dude, any DLC for Devil May Cry 5, and I'm on that shit like Oprah on a baked ham. And dude, Dragon's Dogma 2, oh my god, I would fuck it.
With how well Devil May Cry 5 did, there's no way he's not working on Dragon's Dogma 2 right
And then
now.
Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen, the challenge dungeon that's like 200 floors and then a boss, and then you beat the boss, and then it's 200 more floors, then it's 200 floors again, but they remix the enemies, and then the boss is harder.
Oh my god.
Dude.
Dragon's
Dogma has a lot of problems.
Izuno-san good.
Yes, Dragon's Dogma has a lot of problems, but that's because it was a chance.
Yeah.
It didn't have DMC5 budget. Itsuno was like, I want to make an RPG, and Capcom's like, you fucking what?
You fight, man.
He's like, well, we'll put DMC mechanics in it, and they're like, oh, slow down. Oh my god.
Hey, can we have a Guts and Griffith DLC too?
How much money do you need? Yeah, we'll give you half of that.
God. All right. So, okay. Understandable some resentment to his reception for his last video, but it wasn't ill-founded. I'm sorry. Moving on.
Yeah, okay.
Most people online have been too afraid to say anything that remotely resembles an opinion like this.
All right, I want to read this. Amazing graphics, but that's it. The game is so boring and repetitive. How can this game be so high score is beyond me.
Okay. Can we just...
Yeah.
Can we just say what he's doing here right now?
What?
Devil May Cry 5 is bad, and people are too afraid
to say anything bad about it. Because the positive mob is angry. Which, I mean, that happens. People will get upset at you if you say something that they disagree with. It's the internet.
It's like he's saying that, the contrarians here, which he is being a bit contrarian here.
This whole argument is a bit just the game's actually bad.
It's like they're afraid of censors in fucking Germany. What are you talking about? It's the internet. If someone doesn't like it, they're gonna say. What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, it's a bit silly.
This dude that you're showing right here, just threw a 1 down and was like, "Yeah, fuck it sucked." That no redeeming qualities 1. Graphics were good.
I love his review too. It's 2 sentences. Graphics were good. I didn't understand anything else so bad.
Yeah, guess what? If someone doesn't like the game, they're gonna let you know.
As well as like, okay,
so if you have to find, like, if you have to go out of your way to find people that dislike the game, then perhaps the game is well liked.
And even though this is clearly not his criticism with the game, but like, let's not beat around the bush. Devil May Cry 5, is less of a niche game, but Devil May Cry has always been a niche genre of like extremely complicated combos, movesets, and things. You have to put the time into like learn how to do like cool combos.
The game is as repetitive as you are.
It's hard in that regard. The game isn't too hard in terms of just like playing to the beginning to the end, but actually trying to be what the game wants you to be, a style beast of cool.
I'm sorry. He said people were too afraid to criticize the game.
Well, okay.
Like, I hate to, like, because what I in the beginning of the series, I said that you can criticize someone's idea without criticizing them themselves.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
I found myself saying, that's a fucking stupid question multiple times. Like, are you seriously saying that this game was well reviewed?
Okay, sorry.
By people, not like if this dude said that Devil May Cry 5 was getting really good reviews by like IGN, professional video game reviewers, then yeah, you can say that.
Yeah,
because like there are games that are like that are not amazing that get high reviews. Like, okay, let's talk about Modern Warfare.
Yeah,
the campaign of Modern Warfare, this new game, surprisingly good, even for me, who's really picky.
Yeah.
But they're like, it's an 8.5. And I'm like, is it? IGN gave it an 8.5, and they gave Death Stranding like a 6 or something.
Yeah.
Admittedly, I haven't played Death Stranding. I'm going to play the PC release, which is a whole kettle of fish.
Yeah. Maybe that'll be our next series.
Like,
fucking hell.
Are, like, professional video game reviewers biased?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can they be bought? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Can you... Yeah, I think so. I can't.
Okay.
But there have been instances of it happening. But are just people, can they be influenced? Like, if someone doesn't like the game, will they go on to, like, the Rotten Tomatoes for video games Metacritic, I think? And if they say, like, if they see 9s and 10s, they're like, oh no, I'd better give this a 9, or else no one will talk to me at the next Devil May Cry luncheon. Like, what is this argument? Are you saying that the game's actually a 7, but people are afraid to give it that? Like, is that what we're talking about right now?
It seems to be
Fear?
that is the argument. That's partially the argument. I think we best thing is just move on and try and get to the game, because I just realized that like we had this huge intro.
I need to stop drinking
of just rapid fire
during this.
Yes,
I get really mad.
We had fucking rapid fire like criticisms, mostly bad, of Devil May Cry 5, and then just veered off of like, just be like, oh, it's bad, it's not that good, and the Twitter mob is after me because I said so. Sort of like,
okay,
okay, I don't care.
Okay, but
tell me what you think of Devil May Cry 5.
Now let's talk in his defense.
Sure, okay.
Because Twitter mobs totally fucking exist.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like,
now,
yes, his point of that people that will have a different opinion, regardless of how they form that opinion, of what the general mob or general group of people have. It's the internet. People will be like, "Hey, I think you're stupid."
Okay, so
that exists.
Is his argument for this now saying that
the game is worse than it is, and no one really realizes it, but there are a few, but they're just too scared to say, is where we're at right now.
So I was critical of Devil May Cry 5, and then people on Twitter were mean to me.
Well, YouTube, but yes.
Therefore, I'm right.
I don't know if he's going that deep.
Well, no, not therefore I'm right, but like that lends credence to my conspiracy.
I don't even know if he's that far. He's just saying that like the game's worse than it is, but like it's not getting the press because it's being drowned out by people beginning. No, you're wrong. It's a perfect game. Basically, the fanboys are too loud. Is kind of his argument. This is a little speaking for him.
I don't.
Let's just get to the actual criticisms of the game.
Yeah. Okay.
We're arguing for circles.
We're trying to get into the mind of a dude we've never met.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
We're arguing circles around what we might think his point is when it's pointless.
To say anything that remotely resembles an opinion like this. But if you've seen the comments section on any of my Devil May Cry videos, you can see that I do not have this problem. But I am confused why everyone else does. My first video?
Wait, what? He's saying all of his
Everyone, he's saying people agree with him
in his comment section. Have you been to your own comment section?
I read comments.
Like I don't want to be overly rude to this guy,
dude.
But not many people liked your video, your review, or the like a pre-review of Devil May Cry 5 or preview.
I think a
correct word
of a game was probably a bad idea.
Particularly,
and calling it Devil May Cry 5 already sucks, and here's why, or something like that.
Yes. Like okay, yeah, and this is actually what that post. Here, I'll read it. A post with a title like that is inflammatory in nature and has no place in the sub under the rules. I believe if you'd want a post with the same context in the sub, please change the wording to less inflammatory and more appropriate and open for discussion. Thanks for reaching out. I think he might explain the context of this comment, but I think this sounds like because that's Reddit.
I think he posted it on the DMC subreddit to generate conversation.
To generate conversation, but he probably came with the title of why Devil May Cry 5 already sucks. It's a title that works well for YouTube. People are going to click it. I clicked it. It was a fun video to watch. I thought it was really bad, but it was fun. But yeah, on Reddit, a mod's going to be like, hey, what are you doing here? This is a fan subreddit for Devil May Cry 5, and you're coming in here saying, why Devil May Cry 5 already sucks?
I mean, it's a bit clickbaity.
It's very clickbaity. I'm saying it works as a title on YouTube because it's kind of the standard, but I'm saying it's clickbaity.
If you want to generate conversation about Devil May Cry 5, like something like such a hard stance like that, like it'll.
If you want to generate conversation, you got to come in a bit softer.
Really? I think you should go harder.
What?
I mean, that people are gonna respond.
Okay, well, if you want angry yelling and not discussion, yes. If you
Devil May Cry 5 killed my dad.
If you want discussion, it's more of like, hey, I think I have some grievances about what the direction of Devil May Cry 5 is going, and people are like, oh, what is it? Instead of it already sucks.
Well, when you come out with like Devil May Cry 5 already sucks, you either want.
You're already going to polarize people into corners.
Vehemently disagree with you, or you want people to agree with you. What he's saying here is he wanted people to agree with him, and he found a couple that did, and therefore he's right.
Yes, which is why, like, yeah. Once again, we still have no arguments about why Devil May Cry 5 sucks.
He is like
fleshed out arguments.
He's saying that
we have the intro. We've already been over it.
Right now, he's extolling his own bravery for disregarding general consensus.
I guess so. Is that hipster? I don't know. But yeah, basically he's just being like, my opinion's been silenced, and that's proving my opinion more correct.
Because he's not talking about Devil May Cry 5. He's talking about himself. We're reviewing him now.
We have half an hour left. There's got to be something in here.
Right. I don't want to review this guy.
Devil May Cry community on Reddit for being too inflammatory, only for them to post it themselves months later to make fun of it.
We shouldn't stop here. We'll get bogged down again. But come on, dude. All I'm gonna say is, come on, dude. Stop whining.
Even a fucking mod's like, yo, stop. Like, clickbait garbage.
Like, okay, yes, it got posted. Yes, the mods. I don't know if the mods took it down. I don't know the full story. They had like, hey, submit it with a different title. I don't know. I don't really care.
Yes, okay.
About your sob story if people didn't like your Devil May Cry 5 video. I'm sorry. Spoiler alert. It wasn't very good. You called Platinum Studios an indie developer.
Holy fuck, that's right.
Like, come on, man. You gotta admit at some point
they're working on 3 games.
But right man, you just made a bad video. You just made a bad video.
Okay, sorry. I'm sorry. If this happened to me, like, I did something, like, I said something fairly inflammatory about Splinter Cell.
Yes. And the thing is, if we get criticism for the series, that's fine.
Like, I
will probably try and change it. Because, this sucks. I talk too weird, and I cover over you all the time. And I'm just not very good at this hosting thing.
What I said...
I know you're trying to talk all the time, and I talk too much. What you saying?
What I said...
I know I'm sorry about this.
You are a son of a bitch. I'm the one who's been drinking.
You were saying?
What I said was, given the way that the Tom Clancy series has been going right now, I would rather not have a Splinter Cell game than have whatever it is Ubisoft is cooking up right now.
Okay.
basically, I'm like, the last great Tom Clancy game was Splinter Cell Blacklist, which came out in 2013, and that was the last game that Tom Clancy signed off on before he died.
Yes.
Everything else is just full of microtransactions, and they're kind of conglomerating into the same kind of like pseudo open world looter shooter that Borderlands kind of is. And I'm like, I don't want to see what Splinter Cell has to do with that. But if someone wanted to go on like the Tom Clancy subreddit and be like, look at this fucking asshole. Like, what's the matter with you? Like, appeal to people's better angels. Like, there are people on that development team that give a shit about Splinter Cell. Like, fuck you. Like, let them make what they want. If it's not bad, don't buy it. But if it's good, you'll have another Splinter Cell. And I'm like, I'm sad.
But the thing is, like, I think you'd be the bigger person that someone leveled criticism against your video, like, hey, there's these other things. You'd be like, you know what? All right.
If someone was
I'll make a more expansive video and explain my points more. If
someone was like, look at this piece of shit, I wouldn't go, you're trolling me. I wouldn't turn into fucking Alex Jones and be like, they're putting fucking Splinter Cell in the water, turning the fucking Clancy's gay, and I'm the only one who has the balls to say anything about it. Like, I'm sorry.
Like,
I get it. That, like, somebody taking you to task on a video is fucking embarrassing, and I'm just waiting for it to happen.
It's gonna happen. People have watched this series. It's gonna happen.
I just opened the door to it because, my Splinter Cell thing, while I stick behind it, guess who fucking called it a hot take? Fucking you did. You were like, I don't know about this, and I'm like, I stand behind it.
Yeah, I put the first comment on the video. I'm like, hey, fuck you.
Yeah, you were like, are you sure about this? And I was like, yeah, I think so.
Fuck it. Maybe we'll be here in 5 years doing a video on why
making a response to ourselves. Like, oh, this is before Splinter Cell 23, which is arguably the best in the series.
God, if only that actually happened.
I know.
Moving, let's continue.
It's just
didn't want my voice as part of the discussion. Now, come on.
Like, that's not true. Like, dude,
that's so embarrassing.
Wait, what do you mean about you? What do you mean your voice wasn't part of the discussion? You posted the video, and then there was a huge discussion about your video.
Yeah, your voice.
They just didn't like your video.
Your voice is the video, like,
because it wasn't well made. I'm sorry.
Like, you want to talk semantics? Everyone else is typing. Yours is the only voice that was heard.
I mean, like, if we want to get mean and like not really straw man him, but kind of not give him the benefit of the doubt, it's more just like all these people talked about me and I refused to get in the conversation. I stayed in my own echo chamber of Devil May Cry 5 is bad, and people wouldn't agree with me, and so I got mad.
We don't know that.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying him about him, but like it almost feels like that's what he's saying.
Like, maybe he did comment.
Maybe he did on a different account.
Maybe he.
Who knows?
Maybe he did under his account.
Yeah, well, I'm saying
I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Who knows?
I didn't see that Reddit post because I don't frequent Reddit as much.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually kind of really getting excited about the Devil May Cry Reddit because they're warming to us really well. Oh, God. And no, I'm not saying I like them because they like us.
Yeah.
But I've never really been a part of a fan community before. But I've always liked Devil May Cry.
Devil May Cry 5. I've been there a while. Devil May Cry 5 Reddit subreddit. Yeah, they're fun. It's mostly memes now, but they're good memes.
It never occurred to me to go on the internet. So when I read Vinland Saga, and I'm like, Ian, fucking read it, just, please. I need to talk to somebody about Vinland Saga. It never occurred to me to just go, our Vinland Saga, what's here? But now that we're doing it with Devil May Cry, especially when we're really showing our nuts off, hey, exposing our balls to hey, what do you think about this? And the people could just be like, yeah, those balls look weird. No, but they're like, you're making some good points, but get farther in the video. Let's see what he's got. And I'm like,
let's fucking go. Yeah. And that's what I'm saying right now, because he's not talking about Devil May Cry 5. He's more just having his own little sob story.
I know. I fucking hate this.
Moving on. Oh God, it's 5. I mean, CMC.
Civilly about a video game online, then Tipper Gore's already won.
What?
So thanks for the views, and no, I'm not making any money off of these videos. I do these videos because I hate myself. Almost as much as Devil May Cry 5. So let's talk about the bad. This compliment sandwich has no top slice of bread, and it starts in the soggy middle with the story.
Okay, we're here. Anything we want to say before we actually start with the criticisms?
Yes. As someone who genuinely hates themselves,
I wish we had pushed through to this part so we could start episode 2 with this and strong instead of what is happening.
Who, genuinely I won't say I hate myself, but like the general like extreme amount of anxiety that comes with putting yourself out there. I think so far we've been very lucky that people tend to agree with us, and if they don't agree with us, at least consider us funny. Which I think personally is more important to me than being right.
Well, that's why I'm here then, because I care about being right.
I know, which is why this works.
Oh no, the mouse.
I keep doing physical comedy because I did this and I was like wiggling my finger between us. I'm like, this, you and me, this shit is over, son.
Yeah, you're fucking jacking yourself off over there.
I know.
So yeah, any last points? I don't really have anything.
Yes.
What?
His video so far does not strike me as coming from someone who hates themselves.
Well, who knows? I think that's more of a joke. That was definitely more of a joke thing.
I know.
Basically, I make these videos, and people are going to hate them, but I know they're going to hate them, so you can't hurt me. I don't know.
I like the... Nothing can hurt me anymore. You get what you fucking deserve.
God, it's fun. He also put that over DMC5. I mean, it's like why I keep saying what? It is DMC5, but it's not DMC5 because fuck that game. I keep saying that.
I'm gonna try to get in his head a little bit here, which is not something that we actually wanted to do.
All right, go for it.
But this video strikes me as someone who did not think that they were being contrarian and expected to be met with agreement and applause. But now instead of that, he's now reveling. He's gotten contrarian.
Yeah, he's gotten an extreme amount of pushback, and instead of kind of trying to look at why that
Joke's
pushback
on you, I love it.
Possibly, but even like instead of looking at where that pushback came from in terms of like, hey, your criticism wasn't really well founded in terms of what you brought up in your previous video, it's more he's doubling down into no, I'm right, and I'm going to keep going. I'm right, and I'm going to ignore you and say that you're just a fanboy who says.
And now that we have that out of the way, we
actually have criticisms of the game to get into.
Like that was 3.5 minutes of him explaining his mindset.
Oh god, I wish. Oh god,
which is almost as much as our entire video last time. So, what I would say, just overall, I think that was a bit too much about himself. At least for our video format. Because we haven't even really talked about Devil May Cry 5.
I know! It feels like so much dead air compared to the last one.
I feel like though these were not personal attacks, it kind of feels like it could come off that way, and I almost want to cut this.
I know!
Despite the fact that some of it was fucking funny.
I know, I don't want to be...
And I made like the
my whole point is, I don't want to be mean to the guy. I just want to talk about his video, and Devil May Cry 5!
Devil May Cry 5.
So let's talk about Devil May Cry 5! Away we go!
Yeah.
Devil May Cry 5 has one of the worst stories I've ever seen.
Oh, come on.
For a game that's supposed to...
Oh, come on.
You can't do that, man. You can't open with that, because now we gotta talk about it.
He hasn't qualified it yet, so let him qualify the statement so we can talk about it. All right? I know it's hard.
As one of the worst stories I've ever seen.
Okay, why?
Especially for a game that's supposed to wrap up the entire series, there is so much wasted potential
Was it?
here. Now, there's a lot to unpack about how crazy Devil May Cry 5's story is, but let's try to take it a bite at a time.
Okay, before he continues, it wraps up the Son of the Sparta arc, kind of. At the very least, like, be it, yeah, was it built?
It really does feel like this dude is all Dante all the time.
Was it built?
Like, the fact that Nero might be the main character in Devil May Cry 5-6 means that Devil May Cry is over.
To like, even though he hasn't brought it up in this video, his past video that was most of the point.
Well, he did his first ever question about this. He was like, "Why didn't they just make a big game about Dante?" Remember?
Well, yes, but yeah, there's that. I'm just saying, like, in his previous video, in the one Why DMC Already Sucks, that was one of his main criticisms, was that Nero it feels too much like Dante from DMC, and that's why it now sucks. In the way that he was assuming that Asuno wanted to just make DMC 2, and so he just took DMC 5 and just made it DMC 2, and just didn't give a shit about anything else.
Because DMC and DMC 5 always struck me as he wanted to make DMC 5, but Capcom wanted to go in a different direction for a more Western market, and so he just took ideas that he had about DMC 5 and just put them into DMC.
It's a bit of 50-50 because
because that, like, the
I don't know the full development story. As far as I understand it, is that it was about roughly halfway, maybe a bit earlier through development of Devil May Cry DMC, and they were having issues with development, and so they brought in Asuno to try and finalize the product and kind of get it out the door as an actual package.
Yeah, because DMC Devil May Cry really is like what Capcom assumed the Western market wants.
Yes. But hold on, I need to go back. Did he say it was the worst story ever?
Devil May Cry 5 has one of the worst stories I've ever seen.
That's not even talking games, just worst stories ever.
I don't really know what to say about that.
I don't know what to say about that. There are better written stories than Devil May Cry 5, but I mean, like... Yeah, it's not Citizen Kane, okay?
But
it's also extremely well written and competent for what it was meant to be in terms of, like, a gameplay action game with also a kind of heartfelt story in the middle there of a family.
I could just do the same joke I did last time. Have you played Halo 5?
Like, come on, man! It's the worst story ever of all time. I hate being the guy saying this. I'm like, did you just not get what you wanted?
That's such.
Did you just want something else?
That's like he comes out so strong, like to elicit that reaction that you just did just now.
And I'm like, come on, man. All right, let's go.
Especially for a game that's supposed to wrap up the entire series.
Okay, it was never billed as wrapping up the series. It was the end of. It was the one tagline they had, which was, what was it? The ending of the Sons of Sparta, or what was it?
I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, you don't want to talk about it? Okay, it was something... It's upsetting me. I'm forgetting what it is. But it was more or less the tagline for Devil May Cry 5 was the end of the Sons of Sparta arc or something along those lines.
Makes sense.
The Sons of Sparta. Because it was. It really was. Be it, like... It wasn't an explicit end for any of the characters because they may want to keep around to the end. Also, like for Devil May Cry, it'd be a bit bitter to kill off Virgil or Dante.
Yeah, I mean, and they went to hell, which is something that both of those characters have already done. From
in terms of like endings, it's a really soft ending because like they have Yamato, they're not trapped in hell at all.
Yeah, and someone's story can end without them dying.
Yes,
this is. I was going to just do a really, really hard Yakuza 6 spoiler.
Okay, don't do that.
I'm sorry. I literally just, like, ate the words back out.
Don't. This is a spoiler-free zone outside of Devil May Cry.
Wraps up the Kiryu arc well.
Okay. But that's what I'm saying, like, they don't have to die.
But there's a 7 coming, and it looks awesome.
The story was about them. About the Sons of Sparta. Virgil, Nero, Dante.
No, Sons of Sparta are Virgil, Nero. They're the Sons of Sparta.
And Dante.
What did I say?
Virgil and Nero.
Oh, sorry, Virgil and Dante.
Yeah.
Well, they're the Sons of Sparta. Nero technically
Nero,
fits in that, like, subgroup of Sons of Sparta.
Yeah. A lot of the characterization in this game is mostly for Nero and V. Nero is very important in this game, obviously.
Yes.
V, by extension, Virgil. I guess you're risen a little bit if you want to really go deep into
But in this, Devil May Cry 5 really feels as though Nero's story is just beginning.
Yeah, so it is. This is really a tee up for Nero in terms of coming into his own. Actually, that's basically the entire story. You can have Devil May Cry 5 tagline Nero's Awakening.
God, this video is already better now. Like, our discussion is so much better already.
That's the point.
Yeah.
But I was saying, like, that's the story. We're not there yet, so I don't know. But like, if you didn't like the focus on Nero, that I'm sorry, but it was well written and internally consistent.
It really like Nero in this.
Works. I liked Nero in 4, even when he was really annoying and kind of whined a lot. But I still like Nero. And in 5, I fucking love Nero. That like the entire last not last cutscene, but
dude,
the cutscene before the confrontation.
The first trailer,
yeah,
and Nero fucking takes out Red Queen and revs it. I lost my fucking mind.
Yeah!
And you had no idea what was.
I had no idea what was going on.
I was like, yes. Like just the was like everything's gonna be okay.
It's okay now. Daddy's home.
Like even if the game's like an 8, at least it's not DMC.
Yes, oh god,
at
exactly.
Least we're trying again.
And yes, at least yes, finally.
And it just so happened that the game fucking rules.
Oh god, I guess yeah.
Because really, when that first trailer came out, we didn't really know anything about the game. Like, the art style was different. Mm-hmm. Morrison was like, never had this much trouble. And we're like, oh, that's weird, I guess. Yeah, and then, like, weird bug monsters were coming out. And like we saw some of Urizen, and a lot of people were like, "What is this? Is this like?" And then Capcom showed up, and you're like, "Oh, okay, I see what we're doing here." But just the fact that Capcom
Nero exists
just
again.
the fact that Capcom said, "Okay, DMC was a mistake. Let's try 5," and gave Itsuno money to make Devil May Cry 5 rather than DMC 2, meant that, like, and then fucking Yakuza 6 came, and then Yakuza 7 is getting a simultaneous release in Japan and America.
Capcom is having its renaissance.
And
it's
then,
going
like,
really...
fucking Mega Man 11, like, Capcom was like, okay, let's just... Everybody likes video games. So, like, our Japanese market is doing really well. Let's just give the West those games as well and see what they like.
Yeah. Well, look, with Devil May Cry 5, it's very obvious that, like, because one of their stipulations was they were letting Itsuno do his Devil May Cry 5, but with some caveats that cater more to the West, obviously with the more...
the art style.
The more Western art style and stuff. But
I think that was probably because of, like, you have to use the RE engine.
Yes, but, like, you obviously probably could have had, like, a more stylized thing instead of the more realistic, but either way...
Well, that's true.
But either way, like, they were much more open to being, like, I think we interpreted what people would like and what people like about Devil May Cry. We misinterpreted it. They like it for the wacky, silly craziness with, like, the super cheeseball, like, middle, not the gritty, weird Western.
We don't, like, we want our Dante to be, like, really competent, but also kind of a goofball and not really sure about.
As we talked about, yeah.
We don't want him to, like, in the very beginning, like, pick up a couple of crack whores and fuck them in his trailer.
Let's just keep going. I want to watch that away.
Okay.
So much wasted potential here. Now, there's a lot to unpack about how
wasted
crazy
potential.
Devil May Cry 5's story is, but let's try to take it a bite at a time. If you're preparing to end any multi-part series, you need to tie up all of the previous installments in a way that rewards the...
All right,
Shit.
I see where he's going with
series.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
not.
this is a what's the word? False premise from the very beginning with this.
Yeah. See, this is going to be hard to respond to because we vehemently refute the fact that this is the end of the series.
It literally ends with Virgil giving Nero the book and basically saying,
next time I won't lose.
Next time I won't lose. Like, they're setting up for more shit. Who knows when we get the next Devil May Cry? Devil May Cry. It's probably not going to be for a while.
Oh, it could be 15 years again.
But the thing is, they've rebooted the series basically without actually rebooting anything.
Oh man,
they've t-balled it back up to basically expanding the world up again. They've actually done an amazing thing with Devil May Cry in the way that they've expanded the series past Dante by making Nero such a character in his own.
The kid.
Yeah, the kid.
I want to be the kid. I want to be the guy.
So this is kind of a false premise to begin with. Like, Devil May Cry 5 wasn't meant to be the end of the series. Hell, it's not even supposed to be the really end of Dante's like story, because Dante already had an end of story in 1 if you want to be really hard about it.
We've talked about this.
Yes. But like
also he's showing footage of Uncharted 4 here.
I have not played Uncharted 4, so I can't say.
not either.
Yeah. So I can't say in terms of how well 4 ended its story.
Uncharted 4 is the only Uncharted I haven't played.
Same.
And Mac loves it.
I've heard nothing but great things. So like, you know, I'll give him that. 4 is probably fantastic.
But
in terms
Uncharted
of
is another one of the Sony exclusive kind of like over the shoulder pseudo cover shooters. That have basically turned Sony into like an exclusive powerhouse that don't really thrill me.
No, yeah, like,
but I can't say that they're bad because Uncharted 2 is a fucking thriller.
They're not bad in any way, shape, or form of the word.
Like, well, Uncharted 1 is a bit repetitive.
It's repetitive, and
it was really them like trying to figure something out.
It's mostly due to them. Like, what the fuck system Sony did you make? None of this architecture makes any sense. What the fuck is a cell?
Yeah, Uncharted 1 is much more of like an arcade shooter that has well done cutscenes.
Yeah, and then it's more of a product of its time. It's not bad by any sense of the word. It was great back then.
Is like a fucking roller coaster ride from beginning to end.
Yeah,
it's not particularly a very good game, but if you literally just strap in and just go oh and just follow it, you're like, wow, fucking feel my heart rate.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, in terms of gameplay, we can't compare Uncharted. Like, and in terms of story, yeah, we can't really compare because I haven't played 4. Well, let's see what he has to say though.
Okay.
The player for their time and loyalty. and doesn't treat them like a dumb child waiting by the stove to lick the spoon. That means all of the storylines.
That's really mean.
That's really mean. How does five like take you by the hand and make like and be like, here, lick up? What? How the fuck?
I don't think it does.
It doesn't at all. As we've already discussed, honestly, that's my biggest criticism with 5, in the way that there's a lot of story beats and intricate things in 5 that I feel like should have been drawn out more.
Yeah, because
there's
you
still
kind of have to think about that stuff on your own.
There's also
and you kind of really shouldn't have to.
No, yeah, that's exactly, yeah. Because like actually, there was one guy I was having a talk with in the comment section about, like, honestly, one of the biggest criticisms with 5 for me was V, in terms of like, you honestly really have to guess or try to interpret as best you can what his motivations are in any given scene, because they're extremely unclear even once you get the reveal at the end.
Yeah.
You're still kind of like, okay, is he actually progressing as a person, learning more, or is he just bullshitting the entire time to get to your Risen?
I really thought about it, and I think that V did change
Oh.
Virgil as a whole.
Oh, 100%.
But V thought, he was like, I just need to deal with this humans shit, and I'll just lie to these people.
I think,
and then I will get back, and I'll become Virgil again, and everything will be good.
With V, I think.
But what he didn't realize was that, yeah, he's a different person now. All of his experiences stuck, whether or not he wanted it to.
It's 50-50. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's unclear, but I believe V when he says, I think I made a mistake.
I do. I also believe.
I believe when he says that, but that's what I'm saying. That's part of the criticism of, like, I think they probably should have made it a bit more clear. But like,
yeah, like,
in terms of Devil May Cry 5 being a simplistic, dumb action story that has no depth to it, I'm like, really?
Like,
really?
Devil May Cry 5 is a story that you kind of have to think about, and you shouldn't really have to, because it's Devil May Cry.
Yeah.
Like, if there were just like 1 or 2 more interactions, like, even if Dante had like 1 or 2 more lines in the that scene where he told Nero that Virgil was his dad.
Yeah.
If he had like 1 or 2 more lines that just kind of like explained what was going on, he's like, what, are you gonna call me dead weight again? No, that's not it. You don't understand. Well, then tell me. He's your father.
God, that scene's really good, actually.
And he's like, what? Why didn't you tell me? He's like, I didn't know.
For this exact reason right now,
you didn't
Nero.
Know? What do you mean you didn't know? I didn't know how to tell you. Like that. If they just like that would have explained what's going on. Like,
but
like
in terms of what we got, it's still not. It's not like bad.
Out of Dante.
Yeah. Like, in terms of leaving it a bit more. Yeah.
There is enough there so that everyone who thinks about it can get it.
Oh God, yeah. That's why 5 in terms.
But
of, like,
if there was a little bit more that didn't kind of like just spell it out to you, but just kind of explain it, when Dante, like, Nero just kind of like has to like grab Dante and be like, "What do you mean?" Like,
I get you. Yeah, exactly.
Like,
There's
tell you, like, I didn't.
There's room for more dialogue, but the thing is, what we got isn't bad either.
Enough. It's enough.
But to say there's no depth in it is basically what it's just like.
No, the fact that it's just enough dialogue means that there's more depth than there probably even should have been.
Yeah, exactly. But like, once again, he's going with a non sequitur because he hasn't talked about it yet. But he looks like he's talking. He's referring directly to
spoon. That means
Lady's storyline. Here, let's play it through.
All of the storylines, plot holes, and the rules of your universe need to work together. We need rules because rules...
Wait, okay, I misinterpreted. He's not talking about Lady. He's talking about that there's plot holes.
He's still
and
talking
things.
about that, like, there are unresolved plot points.
Well, no, it's
in this game,
not even plot points. Did he say? Was he saying plot holes?
Because this game is the end, but it's not.
Hold on.
All of the storylines, plot holes, and the rules of your universe.
Oh, the story, plot holes, and rules of the universe. Okay, maybe he'll say some, but I can't think of anything that Devil May Cry 5 contradicts from previous games.
No, there's no contradiction.
There
are additions.
There's additions that
weren't explicitly talked about before, like the whole thing with blood.
The whole thing with blood and the whole Qui-Fi. I can't fucking
like the addition there.
That whole tree, but the thing is, it works within universe.
If he says,
yeah,
okay, blood is like fuel for demons, like that's an addition. It wasn't mentioned in the other games.
Yeah.
So if he says, like, if blood is so powerful to demons, why didn't Virgil just do that in Devil May Cry 3? Like, that would kind of make sense.
Fair,
but,
yeah, maybe.
Like, it wasn't in Devil May Cry 3.
Yeah,
it was an addition in 5. Yes, that's technically a plot hole, but is it really?
It's not even a plot hole.
I mean, it's also, like, Virgil's, like, wants to stand on his own. Like, the only strength that he feels as though he should take from people is Sparta, because he believes that it's his literal right to have that strength from his father. Yeah, that's fine. And then when he's finally pushed to his breaking point, he decides to suck power from other people. That's fucking awesome. But if blood is in fact a source of power for demons, why isn't it in 3? Like, that would be okay. That's a valid criticism.
I don't know.
Do you think it's going to happen?
What?
Did
you say that? I don't know. Let's see. Let's see what so far he keeps saying things, but then not quantifying them. Keep saying, "Oh, it's just it's lofty.
Yeah,
it's filled with holes."
He said that Devil May Cry 5 story is bad, and then insulted you for liking it.
And I was like, "Okay, tell me why it's bad."
We literally hit part 1, the story. Fucking talk about it.
All right, rules, contradictions, rules, plot holes.
To work together.
Okay.
We need rules.
I'm way
Because
madder at
rules
this one.
Provide context. Without rules, we don't understand how or why something is happening.
I agree with you. You need rules in a story
Yes,
to have stakes.
matters. Internal consistency matters in a story. Yes, you are correct.
You are correct,
That
sir.
is
Now
absolutely
tell me how
true.
Devil May Cry 5 doesn't have this.
Yes, now...
I would call this world building. Unfortunately for
That's not explicitly true, but you're correct. It encompasses more, but okay.
Come on, man.
Devil May Cry 5, literally everything that happens in this story either openly contradicts something else from another game,
How?
retcons it past the
No.
point of making any kind of sense,
No.
or just straight up ignores it.
How?
This
How? Like, you have to...
I don't...
This is that time, right now, where you give the specifics.
Like,
Because when you say it does this, all we can do is just say, no, it doesn't.
The visuals he's putting are poignant. I think I know where he's going, but he hasn't said it yet, so I'm not going to say anything
Like, that's the thing with blood. Why didn't he separate it? We already talked about that.
Like, I'm not going to say anything yet, because he hasn't said them yet, but I'm like, are your only contradictions what we already talked about?
retcons it past
What
the
are
point of
they?
making any kind of sense, or just straight up ignores it. This is not world building. This is world destroying. If you want to spot when the game...
Okay, if that was true, then you're correct, but so far you have not proven this statement to be factual in any way, shape,
We
or
are
form.
almost 10 minutes into it, which is the length of most people's reviews.
Okay, I hate 10-minute reviews. I think they're... Well, not I hate them, but
It's
I'm
a
saying...
YouTube thing.
I know. A slight tangent, I guess. This like a 10-minute review, you can get a lot in 10-minute. You can get a lot in 10-minute review, but a lot of times you have to cut things down that generally you could expand more upon to really get a sense or breadth
We're
of
not going to
conversation.
have that problem. Our last video was 2 hours.
I know.
All right?
Let's keep
I
going.
know you're not going to let
I
that
know
happen.
they're in here. I know there's criticisms.
We're almost a fourth of the way through the video. Like,
Come on.
ignore something that it doesn't want to explain, look for Dante to say something dumb to redirect the conversation.
Yeah, well, that's a lovely story and all, but...
I mean, exposition makes Dante sleepy. Okay, the reason he
exposition
hasn't...
makes Dante uncomfortable because every piece of exposition is about his brother.
It's about his brother who he thought he murdered in 3.
Who we know, who thought he murdered in
1, sorry.
Who almost murdered in 3, thought he murdered in 1.
Well, he thought he murdered in 3, and then thought he
is
murdered
there.
in 1.
That's him right there. The dude with the black hair that he's, like, very clearly not talking
Refusing
to
to make eye contact with.
Come on, dude. I'm way shoutier in this one.
I know, because it's like, come on, man. Like, it's annoying because like the criticisms he's leveling against that are explicitly explained within the narrative as actual character motivations and come on.
I really don't know how many times we can talk about the fact that this story
He's actually
like,
really
He
tight.
thought he killed his brother. He's like he feels anger at his brother, but also guilt, and he doesn't know how to talk to Nero about Virgil being his father. So literally,
all he does is go, I'm just gonna
turtle.
I'm just gonna
and
turtle.
avoid
I'm gonna
talking
solve
about
it. I'm gonna go kill Virgil. It's gonna be done. I'll never have to talk about it, and Nero will never have to know.
And then when Nero fucking smacks him with his
Bitch slaps him
angel arm,
and calls him dead weight, and that's when
he
that's
literally just kind of like blossoms.
Yeah, and
and
then-
like his jokes again start feeling like he's like, oh man, yeah, fuck it, man, you do it. I'll sit this one out.
Yeah, you almost
like,
killed
he's
me.
like, deal with your dad. I trust you.
That's the moment when Dante kind of just realizes like, oh shit, I think I had it wrong.
He's like, oh, thank God.
Oh,
then
there's
he
someone
just-
else with God
It's
power
like someone
around.
takes 100-pound weight off of his shoulders, and you can see it.
Let's get to the
He's
criticism.
not sleepy.
But as long as we know where to find him, and as much as I'd love to hear that story... Dante, wait! I'm not done talking yet.
Dante, that demon is...
As we all know,
He literally just gave, like, these are parts that makes Dante stupid. I'm like, no, these are parts that
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 expand
is
upon
his
what we just
character
said.
in this game.
Oh my
It's
god,
like-
he's showing. Okay, yeah, continue.
It's like, you just proved my point.
You literally, what we just said is the whole thing is that Dante doesn't want to discuss it. He just wants to. Oh no.
Like, that's my mouse, dude.
Oh no.
Step.
But what we were just talking about, that's the entire thing, is that Dante doesn't want to deal with it. He just wants to solve. Wants to go and fight Virgil by himself because he feels like he's the only one that's allowed to deal with it because it's his brother. And he doesn't want Nero to be in on it because he knows the weight and pain that it'll bring to have a confrontation to the death with a sibling or father.
And do you remember in 4?
Family member. Yes.
Like, there were only little hints of it, so, like, you kind of don't really get... You don't really get it unless you're, have seen the whole series.
Yeah.
But, like, when fucking Dante, like, gives Nero Yamato...
Oh, dude.
Like, even though we didn't really know... Mm-hmm. It was, like, just kind of weirdly implied that Virgil was Nero's father. Like, we didn't really know. Just the fact that Dante, like, interacts with Nero in such a new way. Like, you could tell how fucking excited he was. That they're like, there's someone like me.
The story of 4 is very muddled, and you can feel like half it was probably cut. But like I think you can accurately read into
Yamato.
Remember the opening scene with Dante? He fucking flies through the ceiling, just shoots the Pope in the face, and just kind of goes, "What?" to the entire audience.
And then he
starts
fighting Nero, and he's like, "What is this? Is curious. What is this?" And then he starts
making jokes like, "Oh yeah,
you want to fight? Let's fight. Yeah.
Flock off, feather face.
Unless you want to stick around, and fight out."
Like he gets happy again.
And yeah, and then he's like, "Oh shit, this kid's probably my fucking nephew." And then all of a sudden, Virgil's back.
Oh god,
like,
yeah.
Oh fuck, it's all gonna come apart. This kid's gonna fucking hate me. Like,
oh, that's another thing. You almost can read into it again. Like this is obviously we're probably I'm digging probably a bit too deep in, but you can almost have a part of Dante's mind of being like, "Oh fuck, I don't want to have to fight Nero. Virgil might turn him against me."
Okay, that's a little far.
It's a little far, I know. But even
like the fact that he was like, Dante is genuinely afraid.
Yes.
Of telling Nero that he always knew he was his uncle.
Yep.
Like, he waited until the last fucking second. Like, buzzer beater. He's your dad.
Like, literally when Virgil's in the room. Dante's like,
like, if
fuck.
we could just... Like, if I could just get rid of Urizen, and if Virgil doesn't come back, we won't have to talk about it.
Well, it's even
We
more
can
that
just go on with
that
our
he,
lives.
That he
we can
only
split
ever
pizza,
addresses
everything will be fine.
Yeah, it's even more because he only ever addresses Urizen as Virgil
when they're alone.
When they're alone, and he talks to him as if he's actual Virgil. When he knows it's only the demon side, and even
he talks about their mom.
Even Urizen's like, "Dude, I have no idea what you're talking about.
I have no memory of this place." And Dante's like, "Oh, yeah, I guess you don't.
I guess you don't. I guess it's the fleshy guy, but like it's almost, oh god, it's almost like Dante's like doing that one-sided therapy session where he finds the homeless guy in the street and just like, I'm gonna lay my problems out to you.
Virgil when he was a thoughtless puppet once already and didn't want to do it again.
Yeah, and then like when he has the opportunity to actually have the conversation with actual Virgil, which is V, he's like, "See ya. Take care of Trish." I got a cool new motorcycle I gotta try out.
Like, he's so... I love it about him.
He's emotionally vulnerable.
But he's so mixed up inside.
Exactly.
Which is why we love him.
Which is why, exactly.
He appeals to Urizen's
He's extremely
humanity,
powerful. He's stupidly...
And then denies that V has any.
Yes, that's why it's so good.
He's so mixed up. And it literally took Nero punching him in the face for him to literally snap him. It's like in Patton, when General Patton picks the kids up and just slaps him. Get a hold of yourself, kid! It's oh, dude. I'm sorry, but like, Devil May Cry 5 is fucking awesome.
But no, don't you want to play DMC? I think that's where he's going to, but...
I'm not done talking yet.
Dante, that demon is...
As we all know, Devil May Cry is full of plot holes and bad writing. But when
Devil May Cry 2 is. Devil May Cry... Did he say Devil May Cry 2 or did he say Devil May Cry?
Devil May Cry.
But where else is Devil May Cry filled with like plot holes? No large ones. There's unexplained bits of the lore.
I mean, there's like funny shit. Like, seriously, why did people live in Redgrave after the tower incident? Like, that's fucking weird.
It's really true. Like, hey, remember that giant tower that came up and destroyed like half the city, and then demons came flooding out of it? Then the sky opened up.
I'm sure it's fine.
I'm sure it's fine. It couldn't possibly happen again.
Like, and then, like...
I was gonna leave, but the property value is starting to go back up.
Like, and... yeah, Towerfront property is, like, dirt cheap right now.
Like, oh, I've got the housing market's so good.
If you can see the tower from your house, the rent is, like, $2,000 cheaper.
And they say they're gonna get rid of it, and like, they're gonna have it down about 50 years. I think it's gonna be fine.
Personally, I think they're gonna go with turning it into a cell tower. Like 5G reception, whole city. It's gonna be fucking sweet.
Can you imagine when Virgil ever comes back and now there's like remnants of both the giant tree and the tower?
Gift shop in the bottom. They're getting out little Yamatos and he's like, finally, and he grabs one. Ah!
And then there's also like oh god, and then there's people like, hey, do I recognize you? And Virgil's like, no. No, I have nothing to do with ruining your city twice.
Hell no.
Those giant tentacles that stabbed and sucked the blood of your friends and family, nothing to do with it.
I mean, I also think that the fact that we don't really know how much these like regular humans know about
demons, yeah.
Like because in Redgrave, you always kind of assume that it was like a normal city, and Dante was kind of like a shadowy, like.
Yeah, we never know how much Dante's things is in like
black market exorcism guy.
Mm-hmm.
Then Fortuna is an entire city that worships his dad.
Yes,
as a demon.
Yep,
because he like fucking pulled a St. Patrick and just like kicked all the snakes out of Fortuna. Like that is world building that I would like in 6.
I would love some more world building about how the world works.
Fortuna to like try to figure shit out, and we learn like a lot about like the actual people of the world itself. I'd be down for that because that's the thing about Devil May Cry.
Yeah, what's Crew Cut story? Damn it,
that's world building.
Yeah, okay, but to be clear, this isn't a plot hole. This is just part of the story that hasn't been expanded. There's nothing in that nebulous space that contradicts something else that's existing.
No, but that is something I think about.
Oh no, it's something that's very interesting to think about, and that's why there's a lot of people. There's a lot of things that you can kind of like try knitting together in terms of figuring out what the normal world is like.
I never think about like where did V get his vest? Like that's ridiculous. But like
no, that's valuable plot information. That's a plot hole that contradicts DMC 2.
Like other things I think about, like how is the Red Queen so powerful?
I guess.
Like, is Angus... Like, did Angus make the Red Queen? Like,
well,
is that...
okay, if you want to get explicit, the Red Queen was Nero like got a sword that was the same sword that's like the that the guards use in Fortuna, and then he modified it into Red Queen.
He modified it himself?
Yes.
That's really cool, actually.
Yeah.
Because, like, the Red Queen is, like, as strong as most Devil Arms, including fucking Rebellion.
Yeah.
Because you can beat bosses with the Red Queen that also Rebellion beats.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's fucking cool.
Nero's pretty fucking cool. But, like, yeah, let's see if he has any actual plot holes.
Right, we're watching a video, sorry. This is a whole pint of beer, it's a 5%er. I'm, like, starting to get... I'm a little tipsy now. Is that fucking Soul Reaver?
Hold on.
Bad writing can offer opportunities to make some really cool connections and strengthen the overall story. Amy Hennig's work on Legacy of Kain is a great example.
Kain, okay.
Full Fat Videos has a great video essay on how...
Full Fat Videos make good videos, I agree.
I don't know them.
They've generally made pretty good video essays on the MCU, although there's some that I kind of disagree with at times. But
I suppose that's why.
Nothing nebulous, nothing particularly bad in those. Okay. But bad writing can... Okay, I guess, yeah, you can use... Well, bad writing isn't an asset. Let's get that clear. You can turn around bad writing and utilize something that was a good idea in a bad writing and then make it good. But, like, having something that was bad be good... Outside of having it be hilarious for ironic reasons,
a mistake can be a potential opportunity if you fix it.
It's not incorrect. Yeah,
agreed.
The Russo brothers fixed Tony Stark's character arc in Captain America: Civil War.
Yeah, they did.
Devil May Cry 5 would crush its world building. if it didn't use it to do dumb shit like adding a bunch of nonsense powers to Yamato
No.
that it never had in the first place. The key.
Okay, that's not. Yes, that power does come out of not exactly nowhere, but it works because it's an extension of a power it previously had. Of it explicitly was said to have separated the human and demon worlds.
That's a good fucking point.
That's
a good point,
Yeah,
Ian.
yeah.
Ian, that is a good point.
Honestly, the bigger one to
It
criticize.
has already separated things.
Yes. Be it, it's a bit silly to separate the human and demon side, but I'm saying it already splits things. He teleports with the damn thing by cutting dimensions.
Oh god, he splits shit all the time.
Yes, that's the
It's
power.
a big split sword.
That's the power of Yamato. And in terms of like,
Oh god, you're so fucking right.
honestly, it
Oh fuck.
there's two
I'm mad
sides.
at how right you are.
There's two sides of the rebellion coin. Yes, it's a bit silly that the power of merging things came out of nowhere, but at the same time, it makes sense that it has some kind of fucking power. Because why the fuck would Yamato have everything? And then Sparta's like,
Yeah, where the coolest thing about Rebellion is that it's got a fucking skull on
it's got a
it.
skull on it. It's like, yes, like to Virgil, my like just as equally loved son, I give you the power to control all dimensions, and to Dante, I give you my letter opener.
It's bigger than his.
What else does it do, Dad?
You can ride it like a skateboard.
You can
son.
open demons with it. That's a terrible Sparta impression. Well, son, you can open demons.
We could open
Well, son.
your letters that me and your mom will write you when you go off to college. How old are you? Please leave.
Oh god.
What?
Fucking fraternity, Dante.
Oh, that's why the demons invaded. They saw the future. They couldn't allow it to pass.
We never got fucking, like, 18-year-old Dante slamming beer bongs at the Byland to 5 fucking brother house.
And then
I take that as a personal affront.
And then across the
Tetsuo.
street, Virgil.
Give us another prequel.
Virgil's just fucking reading books like, oh, Dante,
Dante.
you must gain more knowledge if you must pass the chemistry exam.
Have you ever heard of William Blake? Dante's
I'm getting my doctorate in poetry, Dante.
Dante's like, yo, can I bang $8? I gotta get a 24-pack of Natty Ice. I ran out of breath for that one. I also did, like, the thing with my hands where I, like, throw up weird gang signs, like, yo, bro.
Dude, like, college Dante would have been... Like,
College Dante with a sweet
the only thing that kept teenage Dante in was, like, the horrible trauma of losing his entire family. If he didn't have any trauma, he would have been insane.
He would have gone into business.
Hey, babe, you want to... Hey, babe, want to watch me chug 3 fucking beers at the same time while doing a kickflip and then catching a pizza slice in midair?
I'm gonna... Dante, did you throw up on the stairs? No. Twice? Oh, that was me, yeah.
But I was doing a handstand cartwheel down the stairs.
One's going up, one's coming down.
All right, what you got? Let's keep going.
The key is to cover up plot holes, not make more.
What plot holes?
Like 2 seconds thinking about it. For example, in the original time,
Finally.
Virgil was too young to have fathered a child. Maybe instead of creating...
Wait.
Huh?
What? Huh? He wasn't 11 when he went to Fortuna.
Yeah, what's...
Okay, I don't know the explicit timeline, but he went there before DMC3, where they were teenagers. Dante was like, what, 18, 19, I think, in the plot? And they're twins! They were born at the same time! Virgil isn't nebulously, like, 12 and infertile.
Yeah, like...
Where in the plot does it
at the
explicitly
youngest,
say that,
he'd be,
oh,
like,
yes...
17, which is a little fucked up.
Yes,
But-
like...
Is actually... What is it? I think that's legal in
What?
Japan. A
What?
17-year-old.
Yeah, I guess so.
Little fucked up.
I mean, it's a bit fucked up that he had sex and then ran with probably another like same age
Do you know
person.
how young Goku was when he had Gohan?
Oh god, I don't want to think about
He
it.
was like 15. Fucking gross. That's why he's a grandfather at like 30.
But
His son had a daughter, and he's like 5 years older than me. It's fucking weird.
well, they had to do some time travel to even keep him around that long.
He had to die like 3 times.
Hey, take this pill so you don't have a heart attack. even though you're the strongest person in the galaxy.
If only Bruce Lee had the that grape flavored anti-heart attack stuff. That is the world's greatest ironic tragedy.
What?
That Bruce Lee died of a heart attack.
Yeah.
Like, there's no hope for any of us.
But
I'm going down, man.
oh, come on. Look at this is no, hold on. Let's get that again.
More. All it takes is like 2 seconds thinking about it. For example, in the original timeline, Virgil was too young to have fathered a child.
That still doesn't make sense to
That's
me.
that's just not right.
That doesn't. Also, like, this is okay. The footage you're using is from Devil May Cry 4 Special Edition.
Okay, it says here Fortuna City a few decades ago. So Dante's what? 40 something?
It's a few decades ago from DMC4. Yeah.
So, I mean, obviously they have the blood of Sparta, which means they age kind of slower.
Yeah. I guess you can get that.
But so in like DMC5 or in DMC4, I always thought Dante looked like 35, 40.
I forget the actual
So if
age.
that's true, then
He's like 20.
he's like 20 something.
He's like 20 something.
Or-
Because he goes.
Here's the cool thing.
What?
We don't actually know how much time passed.
Well,
We know how much time passes between 4 and 5 because Kyria is still around and she's regular human-like.
Yes. Well, we know that that Virgil went to Fortuna before the events of Devil May Cry 3. Because at the end of Devil May Cry 3, he goes to hell. And doesn't come back until 1. And so, and he, like...
This isn't... I'm sorry, dude.
That one doesn't make sense. I love how he frames this beforehand with like all you have to do is think about it for like 2 seconds and then it doesn't make sense.
We
and
thought
now,
about this
and
for
now
like
we're
2
sitting
seconds.
here and
Your
we're
shit
like,
doesn't make
we're
sense.
like, what? What?
I'm getting mad.
Did Virgil not grow a penis yet? Where in the lore does it say that half human, half demon hybrids don't get their penises until like 20 years of age? What am I missing?
Yeah, this isn't like I don't know. This isn't a thing, dude.
Okay, next then.
Maybe instead of creating a whole new character to be Virgil's human half, wouldn't it make more sense if it was Nero instead? That
No,
is
that's fucking awful. I'm sorry.
Okay, first off, we already had that story. It was 4. It wasn't like 4 has a lot of issues, but that was the point of 4. Nero is Virgil's human side in 4. He is extremely emotional and angry, but he's kind of like the good side of Virgil in the way that he has an extreme desire for power, but the power is to protect others instead of protecting his own helplessness. It's the good version of Virgil in 4. We already had that story. You're showing footage from 4 where we had that story.
Yeah, and it's explained even further in 5 when you kind of see Nero start to get a little bit darker.
Yeah.
It's like you can't protect anyone without power. When you're going up to Artemis, you're like, "Whoa, dude, slow down."
Yes,
you're sounding a little Virgil right now.
And that's also part.
And then he finally comes around to, "I hate myself for not having enough power to protect my friends."
And that's when he gets enough power because he finally
aligns
himself. He finally aligns himself with the correct path that he actually agrees with. Because part of 5 is him struggling with himself in terms of what he thinks is the right thing to do.
All right, next, I guess we got about 2 minutes before we're another 6 minutes.
I know. Let's go.
everything and makes more sense.
It does. That
What's
does not
up
make
with
more
Devil
sense,
May Cry
dude.
4 and 2 having the exact same cookie cutter villain? Why not retcon it so that they're...
Wait, okay, we're criticizing 4 and 2 now? I thought this was about 5, but okay. The same cookie cutter villain? I don't really see that. The only similarities is human that gain demonic power. I mean...
They both attempt to become a deity.
Yeah.
In different ways.
Different ways. One's like a corporate head. Although 2 doesn't have a story. It's really hard to really dig into this, but...
The villain of 1 wants to 2, sorry.
Okay.
Wants to gain enough power so that he can call himself a god.
Yeah.
The other dude wants to trick people into worshiping him as a god.
Yeah.
It's 2 different ways of going about the same end goal.
Yeah, because 2, it's really hard to even say much because there isn't really much there in terms of a story. It's just a corporate guy gets corrupted with the sense of immortality and gaining power and becoming a god, so that's what he attempts to do. 4 is all about a basically demon pope who worships Sparta wanting to become and embody the holiness that he believes Sparta is. And to that extent, he wants to create the savior, a giant demon god thing that he can control to air quote, protect everyone.
He wants to trick the populace of Fortuna into believing that they need a god like him.
Mm-hmm. He goes so far as he opens up the portal so that there's a hell invasion so he can stop it himself.
Like,
They're very similar if you only look at like the fucking cliff notes, like human that got demonic power.
If you look at the fucking Wikipedia article for both of these characters, yeah, they're pretty similar.
But otherwise, also this is even Devil May Cry 5. This isn't Devil May Cry 5.
No, we're talking about 2 and 4 now.
Like 2 is just bad. They put no effort into. Also, I'm pretty sure the story of 2 was probably rushed out of hell because like it had horrible trouble development. 4 is also a relatively good story that's just underdeveloped and unfinished.
I am gonna say something about 2.
Sure, what?
When you fight the final boss,
Yeah.
and the final boss has parts of the bosses from 1.
Yeah.
I admit, I got a little something out of me.
The only good part of 2 is the final boss
like,
fight.
oh, shit.
It's actually pretty good.
I was
You're
like,
like,
look
oh
at
my, like when you
Griffin.
It's so weird when you fight the last boss in 2. You're like, oh my god, a real boss
There's
fight.
a video game here.
There's a video game here. I can't just backpedal and shoot pistols until I win.
Mm-hmm.
It's fucking strange. But okay, next criticism.
Both Argusax. And look at that. We have a new series antagonist. After Argusax failed to cross over with Sanctus, Dante heads over to Vito Marley to stop Argusax once and for all. And do we just fix Devil May Cry 2? The possessed Sanctus form even looks like the Despair embodied anyway.
Oh, okay. You're basically making up what might be a different storyline that was either you're making up or was in development and was completely scrapped. Either way, this is irrelevant, as well as also because 2 is now canonically pushed back to before 4.
And Sanctus is so much better, dude.
Well, yeah.
The
Well,
Despair
actually-
embodied, it's just a nebulous fucking name. Like, it's not even a character.
In 2, yeah, it's basically just you're fighting hell, final boss.
You're fighting evil.
Yeah, like woo. At
Like,
least
Sanctus had a fucking plan.
At least in 4, it's like
and he did it!
It's a definitive
Motherfucker.
It's a definitive character with a relative motivation and a plan that he carried out. It's at least interesting in some way.
I like it.
Yeah. Like honestly, I would love to live in the world where 4 was like given the time and money to finish properly.
Yeah, and halfway through 4, you fight him.
Yeah.
Like, definitively, and you beat him.
Yeah.
But
then he escapes
his
into
machinations
Yeah.
still come to fruition, and it still feels like you lost, even though you beat him in a fight definitively.
But because you're Nero, you kind of like you're a bit cocky.
You're young, you're cocky, you're untrained.
And so he was able to escape within the Savior. Yeah, that's what it's called. And then
Take you, Kyrie and Yamato.
Yep.
First middle finger in the whole series.
Oh, it's really good acting.
It's just like, oh, what a punk.
I love that. Like, 4 has some fun.
He's not even
cutscenes.
mad. He's like, you little fucker. Oh god, he's so totally Virgil's.
I love how Dante, like in that scene too, he's like, it starts out with him being like, fucker, the kid actually fucked up, and then he like fucking Nero's like goads him into finishing it for him. He's like, oh, you got me.
Oh my god, he is so totally Virgil's son.
Like I was gonna solve this in the first place, but now I have to like fuck. He called me out. You called me out. The fuck.
What else could we fix? Okay, no more swords opening portals to the underworld. That's getting annoying. The amulet worked for Devil May Cry 1 and 3, it can work for a Devil May Cry 5. Or at least, like, unmake it or something cool. It's the last thing Dante has from his mom, so letting that go would be like a cool character moment, and we can close that plot hole forever.
Oh, all right, I have to take back what I said, actually. But I forgot that the amulet didn't combine with... even though it opened up Sparta, it separated from Sparta in Devil May Cry 1. But it's been deleted from the plot since then. That's fair, I guess. But the necklace was what opened up the Force Edge. I'm not crazy.
But he's just like...
I know this.
Yeah, but he's just like, the amulet, it was in 2 games, let's just do it again.
Yeah, it was...
Let's more!
It was the MacGuffin in 3, and then it was also like the thing that
It was a
opened
plot
up.
point in 1, it was a MacGuffin in 3. It
wasn't even a MacGuffin. Well, it is MacGuffin, but it's not a negative MacGuffin. It was expanded
it's
upon
the
in 3.
thing he wanted.
Yeah, it's the thing that it's expanded upon in 3 to basically like they have the entire plot revolving around trying to get the power of Sparta, which was proven to be as powerful as it was in 1.
It's weird. He's like, I like Dante. I want him more, again and again and again. I like the amulets. I want them more, again and again and again and again.
But let's stop having swords open up the underworld, which only happened in
like
4.
I like the final. I like the despair embodied. I want him again and again and again. It's like I like things in the older games, and I just want that again. Nothing new.
But at the same time, then he's like,
hearing?
but then I don't want something that happened in the old games to happen again. It's very picky and choosy. I don't want I don't want swords opening up demon worlds, but I think the amulets would be a good MacGuffin in 5. And I'm like, okay, I guess.
Like, for Devil May Cry 5, I wanted Dante alone to fight somebody with Sparta over an amulet.
Okay, we don't know if he's saying that yet, but like maybe like it's
well, that's what I'm hearing.
It's very nebulous in terms of what you have as a criticism and what you have as a positive.
He wanted to take Nero out of the series and have Dante.
He hasn't said that yet in this video.
Well, have Nero be not Nero, but another character that's basically V. Instead of V, have Nero. Instead
of not expanding Virgil's character any more, which is a good direction to take 5, being the summation of the Sons of Sparta arc. It's weird. Let's keep going.
Oh yeah, and Dante's trapped in the underworld after Devil May Cry 2? Man, that's awesome. I heard that the most powerful demons are having a civil war right now. What would Dante do in that kind of situation?
Okay. Yes, I guess that's interesting, but the problem is that no one liked Devil May Cry 2, and very few people like the Devil May Cry anime. And so what they did was let's just push Devil May Cry 2 farther back and just kind of almost decanonize a lot of the events, and also ignore the anime.
He's saying, I like the ideas in 2 in the anime. There's some good ideas.
There's some good ideas there, but they decided to expand upon other ideas.
Capcom listened to fan demand. The general consensus was that those ideas, those games, were not good enough to warrant expanding those ideas. But they were. And everyone is just too afraid.
Too afraid to
say, no, we want more 2 in anime.
If this video was just about about the unexpanded plot points of Devil May Cry, I'd be
I feel like I'm high. This is fucking
if you said I think I would like to have seen the politics or the demons or what hell looks like in the Devil May Cry universe. I'd be like, yeah, sure, great. I think we could do that. I think that'd be really cool. Instead, it's man, I'm really upset that they didn't expand upon this one-off line that they had in the Devil May Cry 5 the Devil May Cry anime, and now I really hate Devil May Cry 5 because they didn't do that. I'm like, but that doesn't make Devil May Cry 5 bad. It just makes it what you didn't want.
It makes you curious about
another plot point that wasn't expanded.
Something that could happen maybe later.
I agree with you. It could be cool. It's just not what we got. But it doesn't make 5 bad. Tell me a reason why 5's bad outside of the swords having new powers. Which kind of...
That's true. He hasn't actually criticized 5 yet.
Besides the swords having new powers and V being a character that he didn't want? He hasn't expanded upon it more. Besides, that he felt that character role could have been sorted by Nero.
He just made an entire video as a response to someone's criticism of Devil May Cry 5, and they didn't criticize Devil May Cry 5.
Let's try to get to the end of the story. Maybe there's more. I don't know, man.
Maybe there's saying more. It's the worst story ever.
It's the worst story ever made of all time.
All right, let's get to 12.
Food Wars is better.
What's Food Wars?
Is it Food Wars? I'm on my brain's the Christopher Lloyd horrible animated thing. I'll show you later.
I thought you were talking about Gordon Ramsay beating people up. Fucking roll!
What would the characters do without Dante in the human world? Nero, Trish, and Lady.
That's the plot of Devil May Cry.
Once again, that could be the plot of Devil May Cry 6. That honestly feels like what they're building up to.
That's the end of Devil May Cry 5. It's because you're here that we can go. And then Nero has a fight scene at the end, during the credits, and is yeah, Devil Hunters is still here, motherfucker.
So Devil's Cry, let's see what that sounds like! It's good. The whole point of 5 was to kind of rectify the relationship that Dante and Virgil have, as well as propping up Nero as his own protagonist and character as his own, and not just being someone that's in the shadow of Dante. Both in terms of a narrative standpoint, as well as fan and story standpoint.
Next.
That would be a great place to start a game. These are some awesome ideas. All right, so what did they end up doing for 5? Oh, wait, they switched the chronology around?
Oh, don't you're
He
not
just-
you're not allowed to use Legacy. That's my favorite song. You're not allowed to use Legacy while criticizing 5 at the same time. Don't do this.
You realize what he just did?
What?
He just pitched to us his own story for a Devil May Cry game, and then just said, "Isn't that awesome?"
Yes. And the thing is, didn't we agree with it though? We agree with it, but the thing is, like, hey guy,
No,
don't you realize?
I didn't agree with it.
No, we did.
I don't want Dante again. I don't want the amulets again.
Oh, you
I
talking
want
about that.
Nero. I don't want Devil May Cry 2. I don't... no, I don't want any of it, actually.
Okay, no, we agree with the fact of, like, because what we talked about is that, like, that the Devil May Cry 6 is what he just talked about with Nero, Lady, and Triss possibly doing something.
I think... Frankly, I don't even think Lady or Trish needs to be in it. I think they would be, like, fun side characters.
Oh, I want Lady and Trish to have something, but no, I agree with you. I feel like the story could be Nero almost doing his own thing. We don't
Yeah,
even...
but, like, Nero and... Trish and Lady work well off of Dante, because they're all like, kind of like sarcastic, shitty to each other.
No, I get you, yeah.
But Nero's not that. He has a softer, fluffier core. And that works much better with, like, a character like Kyrie.
Yes, I get you.
And, like, having Nero be there for comic relief. Sorry, Nico.
Yes.
There for comic relief and can still kind of like pushing Nero's buttons, because Nico's saying something crazy and Nero going, "What?" is really funny.
It's really, like, honestly, the dynamic's really fantastic. But
But I think that, like, their threesome works better, like,
with
separately.
Dante, yes, I get you, 100%.
But, like, if Nero's like, "Oh, I need some help on something,"
And they
like,
calls in, like, Lady and Trish,
and,
that'd
like,
be
he's
awesome.
like, he goes to the old office, the old Devil May Cry office, and Lady and Trish are, like, squatting there because they're like, we like it here. And he's like, brings out, like, a piece of a devil, like, "What do you guys think about this?" And they're like, "Oh, well, that's from the blah 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 blah. You need to go blah blah blah." And then they, like, maybe sit or have a pizza or something. And then Nero's like, "Thanks for the assist, ladies." And then, like, the lights go off.
Morrison comes in, "You haven't paid your rent."
And they're like, "We're taking a finder's fee from the, whatever you get for this."
And Nero is just like,
And he's like, "Put it on my tab or something." He's like, "No, we need it, like, now."
as he like fucking like walks out the door, like, "What?" And they're like, "Fucking Spartas." Spartas. They were paying their goddamn tab. All right. God, you can't use
Oh
Legacy,
my god,
though.
Dante skipped out on his entire debt.
Oh, that's a good point. He went to hell, and he's like, oh my god.
God, Lady's gonna have to collect from someone. Closest living relative is Nero.
Nero's just hanging out at home just fine. Someone comes up with in a hood, just rips his wallet out of his pants. Nero's on the ground, bloody.
Taking this back.
Curious, it's like, Nero, what?
Again? His wallet starts to bleed. He's like,
Oh no!
Lady just, like, comes up with, like, a fucking itemized bill. Nero's like, "We're not paying this," and Kyrie's like, "How much do we owe you?" And he's like, "Kyrie, no!" Think of the children, Kyrie.
We need to pay. We need to afford food.
We need to keep these kiddies in sock and boppers for another 3 years at least.
Oh my god.
Yeah, sock and boppers, right?
Let's keep going.
Nero would give the kids sock and boppers. That shit's
I can't
awesome.
believe we're finally on to actual criticisms of the Devil May Cry
We don't
5
know that
story
yet.
as it exists. That's fair, but it sounds like we are.
What did they end up doing for 5? Oh, wait, they switched the chronology around?
Yes.
Oh, well, that's okay. There's still plenty of new ground they can cover.
Correct.
Oh, a demon invasion. I thought Nero and Dante were protecting the human world. How could they let this happen? Oh, Dante and Nero...
Because it's Virgil.
Because Virgil's an asshole. Remember
Because
3?
Unison is the strongest demon that's ever existed.
Yes. Remember also 3, where Dante is also, like, he hasn't explicitly taken the mantle of protector yet. But a giant fucking pillar comes out of the fucking ground, and he's like, "Oh, well, shit." Remember 4, where Dante shows up like, "Hey, I'm gonna stop this," and then fucking town gets leveled by giant god statue?
Yeah, 4 wasn't about a demon invasion. It was about stopping a potential demon invasion.
Well, there was also an actual partial demon invasion that Dante was there to stop. Demon invasions still happen. They can still happen. You never had this much trouble before. Dante goes to try and stop
So
it.
you want Dante again forever. You want the amulets again forever. You want DMC 2, but you don't want the demons coming through.
Like, that doesn't make
Like,
sense.
you're saying, like, this has been done before in DMC, so it's bad? But you want Dante. You want the end, like the thing. You want some things redone a bunch, but not other things redone a bunch. Like, what constitutes good and bad in terms of the series revisiting something?
I hope he has like a summary section where he sums up his thoughts. Because man,
because
this is
as of right
scattered.
now, it really just seems like it's your preference.
That's what I'm getting out of this. I'm getting less criticisms, more just like I didn't like that they did this. I'm like, that's fair, but like, why is it actually bad? I'm like, okay,
because it's bad. Because it's the worst story I've ever played.
It's the worst story I've ever played. But like, yes, they're defenders of humanity. Doesn't mean that demons can still pop up. It's not like it's not like there's one exit from hell and Dante and Nero just stand there as bouncers.
Defender of humanity. Lady forced Dante to investigate Fortuna.
This is true. Dante does
literally dangling the pizza. Like, go there.
Dante has
to get at the pizza, and she's like,
Dante has taken the mantle of protecting humanity. Doesn't mean he's exactly proactive about it. When a demon invasion happens, yeah, he'll go there to stop it. But it's not like going to be like. It's not like he's psychic and knows exactly where every demonic invasion is going to go, or that he has like the wherewithal to be like, oh yeah, I'll go there.
And he's killed Mundus.
Yeah,
he's killed Virgil.
Yeah,
kinda.
Yeah,
and like. Those are, like, the strongest threats ever. Like, everyone else who tries to, like, take up the mantle of King of Demons, Dante just, he dances and makes jokes while he's fighting them. Like, they're nothing.
Remember the time in TeamSpeak 4 where he sat on that guy's tail for probably a minute waiting for him to notice him for one joke?
Yeah. And then, like...
God, you took forever, my code's burned, you
snake
fuck.
Lady, and she, like, gets pissed off, and then he just shoots her in the face, and she explodes! But they're like a demonic invasion, and V's like, this season is reason for fighting. He's like, oh, is it? Yeah, who is it? And he's like, Virgil. He's like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, because then he has to get like,
all right, no, this one's on me. Let's do it.
He has to get like partially serious, but at the same time be like, everything's fine, everybody. Dante, you can do this. It's just Virgil. You beat him once before.
I mean, it's like. Demon Ultra Virgil.
How much you want to bet, like, off screen half the time he's just like, stop at a pizza place, just give me like 2 slices of pizza. Like Lady and Trish are like, shouldn't we go? And Dante's like, give me a minute.
He's like sitting in like a bodega with his head in his hands, like, breathe, 1, 2, 3, breathe, 1, 2, 3. Fucking Virgil, he just never stops. He's always here.
And then he sees V walking down the street, and he just ducks underneath the counter,
like senses some Virgil energy.
And then Lady and Trish are like sitting next to him, like, Dante, what? He's like, I'm not here.
He's like, no, you can't make me.
He's your client. He paid up front. All right, next.
Are there? All right. I mean, it'd make more sense if demons were taking over because Dante was trapped in the underworld and couldn't do anything to stop it, but whatever. Better late than never.
Not really.
Oh, a demon tree. That's kind of Tim and Agru, but it's not like this is Virgil or anything. Let's do this. Oh, so wait, this guy's the Demon King. Who decided he was king?
He did.
The Civil War is over? Damn.
Okay, he did. He decided that he was king because he's Virgil.
He's bringing in all this all his preconceived notions of what like Devil May Cry 5 would have been based off of the anime and
his preconceived
two
notions.
of like the Devil May Cry 5 anime. I dare I say I actually kind of like it, but 2 of the worst media related to Devil May Cry outside of the reboot. He's like, I didn't like what they did with 5 based on what I thought it would be out of 2.
Okay. This is going to sound like, this is going to be the meanest thing probably that I ever say about this video.
Yes, okay.
Have you ever taken your girlfriend out to dinner?
Yeah.
And you find out later that she was expecting Italian, but you're like, no, we're going to get Indian. It's still great, but it's not what she wanted. But she never told you what she wanted. So the entire time she's just like, so do you like the food? She's like, no, it's okay, I guess.
And then 2 weeks later, you're like...
And then she's like, well, no, I mean, I just thought we were going to get Italian. Like, you could have fucking told me! Like, it's like, this isn't what you wanted. Okay, you don't have to be, like, an asshole about it.
Like, seriously, like, come on, man.
Like, this game is bad because it isn't what you were expecting.
Yeah, okay, and also, these are nitpick.
No, but that's
nitpick criticism again. But once again, like, we don't know how long it took the tree to show up. It could have been a little bit. It could have been Terra McGrew, where it just fucking spawns out of the ground, and Dante's
he hasn't
just
even said that yet.
No,
he hasn't like made that argument.
Well, he has made that. He has made the argument that like that Dante and Nero should have showed up to stop the tree earlier. But like, it could have been fucking Tara McGrew, where it just fucking comes out of the ground. Fucking Dante and Nero just hanging out at home, flipping through the TV set, and like, oh shit. I think we should go there.
Well, if he had to tell him about it.
Yes, maybe that was before the tree had showed up, and as they're heading to the tree showed up. I don't know. Obviously, it's not explained in the game, but it's also not a plot hole. It takes time to move from one place to another. We've also seen that like it grows pretty goddamn fast at times.
Is this a... I don't think this is even a criticism of Devil May Cry 5 yet.
It's very nitpicky.
Said that Devil May Cry 5. He hasn't given any criticisms of Devil May Cry 5. He just said that my ideas are great and the Devil May Cry 5 isn't them.
And then he's gone as far as, and then Devil May Cry 5 is bad.
Yeah, Devil May Cry 5 is bad because it's not my ideas.
That's what it feels like.
Is that what I'm hearing?
That's what it feels like. But okay, let's keep going.
Damn, this is serious. Oh, they're not worried about it? Oh, should I be worried about it?
Well, Nero isn't worried about it. Nero isn't worried about it
because
he
Dante's there.
It yet. He still thinks that Dante's the legendary devil hunter. Because
he is the hunter. He killed Mundus. Literally what Nero knows about Dante is that fucking Dante beat the ever-loving shit out of a giant statue. Be it Nero wasn't the one that crushed it at the end, but he beat a giant flying statue in the sky. Hey, did you know Dante's pretty strong? And then, if you're the guy that they call after Dante, you're like, and Dante's already there, you're like, why am I here? Like, the guy that does woohoo pizza kickflips.
Can you imagine being a reggae band and like going up after Bob Marley?
Yeah, basically, that's what it feels like. Just like Bob Marley was already here. Like,
I'm opening for Bob Marley. Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
What did you want Nero? What would be better for you? Nero to be like, oh shit, I better get in there and help right now. I know Dante really needs my help, being how Dante's really not that strong or powerful.
It feels like he wants all of these characters to be emoting their secret internal, like to just be open books all the time and just explain their motivations and their feelings all the time.
I don't know.
Because it's just easier that way.
I don't know.
You don't really have to think about it.
I guess I just don't know what he really wants. It's my issue.
I don't think this dude is stupid, but I think he's taking this game at face value, because if you take the game at face value without really thinking about it, you might be able to use it for his argument.
The argument that like it's dumb. They didn't really think about it. They just kind of threw something out and it went eh. But like as we've proved in like our long conversations, there's a lot there.
Like people who kind of like get it.
Yeah.
Even though I think he gets it. I think
I don't know.
No, this dude, not stupid. We know that.
Yes, we know that. But like
Also, pretty damn good editor.
Yes, what I'm saying. He's a good editor. That's what I'm saying. His videos are well edited. I just wish I want him to put more effort into like scripting and his arguments, because he can make great fucking videos. But we have this instead. But
I'd love to talk to this guy.
I really hope that would be the crowning achievement of this. Is like at the end of this video, we actually was able to sit down and have a nice discussion with this guy, and actually just like. I was going to talk about it probably at the end of the video, but like what we hope to do at the end of this video, once we've done all our parts
during that discussion,
out of all of our parts, we want to sit down and actually have our personal criticism of Devil May Cry 5 and talk about what was good about the game, what was bad, what we would want to see maybe different, and what possibly the future of Devil May Cry 5. We gotta just kind of capstone for this. God, if we could actually have Twin review in a discussion with that'd be perfect.
I would fucking love to talk to
We'll repeat it again, but open invitation to the guy to actually sit down and talk to him about it. We don't want to be hostile. We don't even have a debate. We just want to have a conversation about what you didn't like about Devil May Cry 5.
I want to, if you can explain your process for making this video, maybe he'll, say something and we'll be like,
oh, I'm sure if we sit down and talk, I'm sure if we sit down and talk to him, I think we could probably get to a really good understanding about what his criticisms of 5 are and be like, okay, yeah, I think I understand that, but we still like it for this reason, but we understand why you don't like it. Hopefully, by the time we finish this video, we'll have a better understanding of that. But right now, it's scattered as hell right now.
I think. God, we got 6 minutes in.
I want to try and I don't know how far it is. Let's try and finish the story.
We've been
segment.
talking for hours.
I know.
I kind of want to cut it here.
Let's finish this point then.
Okay.
We'll see.
Oh Should I be worried about it? Oh shit, he just kicked Dante's ass. Are Lady and Trish okay? Oh, Nero doesn't really care? Oh, he's happy. Oh, okay. This is weird. All right, you're going down. Oh, wait, I don't have any of my old moves anymore? Oh, I have to buy my old moves again. Okay. Well, then this boss battle doesn't seem very fair.
Okay, yeah, we'll cut it here. It looks like he's gonna. It looks like he's gonna do a summation of the entire story.
The characterization of Urizen, where you fight against him and he overwhelms you, isn't fair. Fucking shocking.
It's a boss fight you're supposed to lose. Have you seen the secret ending where you beat Urizen, where it's just like the comedic, and then everything was fine and it all worked out.
Like, if you want to say that like a boss battle in the beginning of the game where you're supposed to lose, or like in media res, is a bit contrived, agreed. But saying that this battle isn't fair is just stupid.
Because the whole point,
God damn it, I said it again.
The whole point is it isn't supposed to be fair, as well as like, oh no, you have to buy and upgrade your move set in a Devil May Cry game. Is it a little annoying? Maybe.
Not really. I mean,
but not really. Like that's kind of like why even though Devil May Cry is already kind of hard in terms of accessibility, in terms of getting used to it, but that's. Buying your powers facilitates that, so you're slowly adding more powers to it instead of like you press the start button, go to combo list, and it's like 20 pages long.
Could you imagine if this was the first Devil May Cry game and you just look and you go into the training mode and it's like, do all these moves, and you're like, oh
yeah, like yes, there's a reason you slowly accumulate more moves over time, because like once you buy a new move, you have a kind of handle on your other moves.
There's a speed limit on the highway, not because of us, but because there are 16-year-olds that this is their first time. All right.
Yes.
Yeah, we could all do 80, but like for them, let's do like 65.
That was not a good criticism.
Yeah, and then
I think
like,
okay,
and then
we finally
like,
got.
Yeah, sure, we can push the 80 because like speed limit on these.
Everything can't be the Autobahn, man.
Yeah, but like the speed limit on the at least in our state.
Oh, no.
The speed limit on the highway is a bit of a
no one gives a shit. But like
it's more of a guideline. But like
it's
the
a fight you're supposed to lose
because there are first timers.
And in terms of when Nero walks in the room and Dante got knocked down, and Nero kind of goes, "Oh, okay, it's time for me to fight."
They're like, "This is my chance."
Nero. First off, two things. Nero is self-confident, rightfully so. He has the blood of demons inside him. He beat the shit out of like everything in 4. He's pretty powerful. He's in a weird spot right now, having his arm ripped off. But regardless of that, then in 2, he's like, "Oh, it's my chance to finally prove that I'm worth something to Dante. I can maybe pay him back a little bit for the entire events of 4."
Yeah, like he sees it as an opportunity to prove his worth.
Yeah,
a chance for Nero Sparta to prove.
That's a good point. We don't have a last name for Nero. Because we know he was adopted by the family that by Kyrie's family.
Oh, that's fucking weird. If he had the same last name as Kyrie, let's not do that.
I know, yeah.
Let's not do that.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. If he canonically has a last name, but regardless, like God, it's not good, man. Like yes, it's as you said, it's a bit contrived to have a boss fight you're supposed to lose to. Maybe
like it's been done.
It's been done, but it's not bad. It's not anti-productive. It's not a plot hole. It's not a contrivance. Look, I said contrivance. It might be a contrivance a little bit, but it's not bad.
When it comes to in media res nowadays, when I see something like that, I'm like, this again.
I know, yeah.
Where like something happens and it's like 3 months earlier. You're like, and we're doing this.
You're like, yeah.
But like the fact that but this boss fight that you're supposed to lose is one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Because it's just so overwhelming.
Oh, the whole point is it's completely overwhelming. It's overwhelming, and he doesn't even get up. He's just sitting there like, whatever.
Yeah, but you can still, like, kind of get some hits in. It doesn't feel impossible, because it's not.
Yeah, because you can beat it.
It's not like in Golden Sun, when you fight those 2 people in, like, near the first part of the game, and they just one-shot each of your party members. You're like, oh, okay, I have to lose this, I don't care. Like, you don't even try to heal.
Yeah.
Like, fucking whatever.
Yeah. Oh, yes. It's, like, in terms of that, it's well done. But, like, man, you can't...
It's a characterization of Urizen more than it's a characterization of Nero.
Oh, this fight's unfair. The story for Devil May Cry 5 is bad.
Oh my god, that's right, he's still talking about the story!
I think it's like... I think the story section might be long. I think we'll cut it here, because I think it seems like we just got to the very beginning of his story summation.
Fucking hell,
obviously, this is the beginning of the game. But, Well, okay, I thought we would get a little bit better, at least for the first section of the story section. It kind of got worse.
No, I definitely got meaner.
Like I don't want to be mean to this guy because you've seen a good chunk of the video now. As I said before, they're good editors, or he's a good editor.
I think it's two dudes. I think they're actually twins.
I think it's two dudes. Either way, like, goddamn, you actually make presentation-wise make good videos. The part that's also really great because a lot of like video essays don't do this. Your visuals are always actually relevant to what you're talking about. That's really good. Very few people actually do that.
Yes,
but in terms of like your content and what you're talking about, it's not good.
We disagree.
We disagree. But it goes beyond disagreeing in the way that you're having factual statements that are incorrect.
We are attempting to respectfully disagree.
Yes,
I am failing.
We'll see how it goes.
But I am drunk.
We're getting to more clear territory in terms of criticism, so it may pick up. But I guess not for this one. I'm sorry.
Minute 20's got to be where. Like, he just gets out a spreadsheet and he's like, okay, here's it.
Yeah, I'm sure at 14 minutes, yeah, it's just like the whole first part, yeah, I was weeding out the people that disliked my first video, now the real criticism starts. Well, we're in it for the long haul. Thank you for watching episode 2.
I'm glad we're doing this because most people were too afraid to get to minute 10.
See you in part 3!
I'm sorry, I'm gonna be talking about that forever.
Everything's changed. That's how it starts. The fever, the rage, the feeling of powerlessness that turns